If you've ever hit multiple parlays on a Sunday going into Christmas week, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Welcome back. Happy Monday. Merry Christmas. It is Christmas week. It's going to be a holiday shortened week. The volume is probably not going to be all that great, but we're going to have fun. We're going to make sure that we make whatever money we can in this time and enjoy the Christmas season. Let's get right to it. All right, folks. Happy Monday. Welcome back to another edition of Benzinga Market Edge Live. Merry Christmas week. It is great to see a whole bunch of returning faces. Ed, welcome back. James, Merry Christmas. Good morning. Kindred Duke, what's going on? Glenn, long time no see. Merry Christmas. Hope you're doing well here this week. Jonathan, welcome back. Drew, welcome back. Sun-Kissed Yogi, welcome back. Crimp Biscuit, welcome back. And producer, I am going to share. We have the best team anywhere in finance here at Benzinga. I'll go to my grave saying that. My producer makes me laugh every single morning, which is good because I wake up sometimes before it's even light outside. So starting your day with a laugh is always good. This is what my producer had ready for me this morning when I woke up. The first thing that I read on any screen today was, quote, "Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas week, Nagi goodness, presents, your cat planning a terrorist attack on the tree, and all of those good things." Gotta be honest with you, not what I was expecting, and that was about the best opener I could have had today. So thank you, producer, and thank you all for joining us here today. Let's go ahead and dive right into the market. Let's make some sense of what's going on out there. Probably have a light crew this week, both in the show and in the market. So factor that in to the trading here. I will keep shouting out the good mornings. JJ, good morning. Bill, good morning. Merry Christmas. White chocolate mocha. Would it be a Monday morning without white chocolate mocha? I don't think so. Welcome back. Merry Christmas. Chuck, welcome back. Fairchild, welcome back. Hustle and Bustle, welcome back. Diamond Hotline, good morning and welcome back. Let me go ahead and bring up the SPY. We're going to go ahead and talk about it. But before we do, oh man, I was flying high. Football has been kind of disappointing this week, but boy, oh boy, I had 4 bets yesterday. 2 of them hit. $40 risked, netted back $280. We had a great NFL Sunday, and we are going to use those profits this week on a whole bunch of different sports. What that means is that during the day, we are going to carry that momentum forward, and we are going to make sure we make some great trades here. I do really quickly want to follow up. We talked about Lockheed Martin, this being a setup last week, traded this overnight for 100%. Didn't even have to hold this trade for 24 hours. Nice little Christmas boost there going into Christmas. So we closed that on Friday, and we also used some of those profits to try the exact same setup here in VRTX. So let's see if this trades up here today. We could really have this lotto ticket go off for us if that happens. Now, let's go ahead and break down the regular market. SPY, the big story from Friday was the huge run that we had. That thing was lower in the pre-market, didn't really look great. There were red arrows across the board. I told you the little man inside was saying, I think we're going to close green today. And like I mentioned before, make sure you see double indemnity if you have not yet, because that little man is rarely wrong. We did close green. We had an absolute monster move in the SPY on Friday. And you can see here, it looks like we just kind of pushed right up off of that 582.30 previous spot. And it looks like we went right up to the 50-day. So can we close above that 50-day today? Can we make it back to the 20-day? Can we delete that really bearish candle that we saw? Are we going to go into the New Year's on the Santa Claus rally? Are we going to be printing money on the way? We'll see. Today is the first day. Today is the first day. Hustle and Bustle saying, so how's the little man inside of Ryan feeling today? Pretty good. The little man has been making some good calls. My bank account, My trading account and my betting account are all happier for that. So pretty good. Pretty good. And I did see Bernhard, I was mentioning, I did see a Tiger's son hitting his first ever hole-in-one. Got to be honest, your first ever hole-in-one, hitting that when there are cameras around, pretty awesome. Hope somehow that happens to me, although I doubt it. Good morning, Jennifer. Good morning, Austin. And good morning, Izzy. Okay. And good morning, everyone else. If I missed you, Matthew, good morning. If I missed anyone out there, good morning. I hope you all are having a good morning. Good morning, Chris. Chris, with Christmas this week, do you have any hockey this week? If so, hope you win. But let me know. Okay, so as far as the SPY goes, we popped off that 582.30 level, which has been a key level. We went right to the 50-day. Where do we go next, right? Was this a one-day kind of bounce back after that move up, or do we stop here, maybe roll over and test some more of those lows? Are we still expecting a bigger sell-off in the market in early 2025? Do we think that's going to happen around inauguration? Do we think maybe it's going to be at the end of Q1? That's what we have to figure out here. Nothing goes straight up, and I would imagine at some point that the market takes another down move. But if we can plan for that and not react, let's call it react emotionally to that, we should be pretty good. We should be able to kind of stomach that, much like we did on this one. Now, we'll see here what other types of setups we have for today. Quick look around the board at the futures. S&P futures up 0.06, so basically flat. Dow futures down 1/4 point here, and the NASDAQ futures up just about 0.5%, just shy of 0.5%. So a little bit of a bifurcated market here. Dow a little bit lower, SPY about flat, and tech higher. We'll see if that leads into the open on all of that. Real quick here, market breadth rebounds as risk appetite makes a comeback. This analyst predicts gains ahead after S&P 500's record negative streak. So I'm actually going to go ahead and give you that article here. Sorry, I didn't have that queued up. I should have. Here you go. Here is that article if you want to go through that. Good morning, 3D. Great to see you. Happy Monday and Merry Christmas week for you. Good morning, private account. Pretty sweet name there. Good morning as well. So there's the story there on the rebound, on the risk rebound there. Of course, we'll, like I was saying here, we'll see if this is a one-day wonder. We'll see if this is the start of maybe a bigger move. Do we make it all back up to those highs? What are we going to do early next year? All of that we're going to start to find out here. Now, as far as the Santa Claus rally, which we briefly spoke about, a lack of a Santa Claus rally would be concerning, says one of the S&P 500 analysts. Yeah, that would be concerning. We all want to see Santa Claus, right? We all want to see Santa Claus come through town, each and every one of us. I'm going to go ahead and throw that article in the chat there too. I think that we're going to get it. Sure feels like that. This sell-off kind of primed the market for that, right? The nice little down move kind of sets us up for a low volume climb, which would be perfect for the Santa Claus rally this year. So the breadth that we just talked about here, the market breadth, it has hit the lowest amount since the Jimmy Carter era. That's one of the reasons why we're kind of negative on it. But again, we'll see. We'll see how it actually ends up shaking out this week, and we'll see if we do get a green or a red week here on Christmas week. Just a quick look ahead. As a reminder, the market is closed on Wednesday for Christmas Day, and tomorrow for Christmas Eve, it's a half day. So we're likely going to have some stuff here in the morning. Probably some of these movers here in the morning, but it is going to be a half day on Tuesday with the market closed on Thursday. We will be back here, with the market closed on Wednesday. We will be back here on Thursday. So I am absolutely planning on doing a show both Thursday and Friday. Definitely looking to trade those markets here. So hopefully you folks will be here with us on those days. Okay, let's keep rolling through here. Let's get to some of the news. We're going to start here with Rumble. That was one of the big pieces of news over the weekend here. So here's your Rumble chart on the daily. You can see we're just kind of consolidating here. Most of 2024, we're kind of in this range between $5 and $9, and we really didn't break out of it until today. Okay, until today, big pop here, 1022. What's the news going on here in Rumble? Rumble stock soars on a $775 million investment from Tether. Now, there are some details about this, so I'm going to go ahead and give you this article too. We've talked about Rumble here quite a bit in this chat. Also in the happy hour chat, we've talked a lot about Rumble, what this means for the stock, whether or not Rumble is going to continue to expand as part of its video delivery service and all of that stuff. So we'll see here. This $775 million investment definitely seems good. Has been great for the stock. In fact, you can see we popped to the top end of this range. Now, this $10 level, obviously, this is a key level. I believe Rumble was a SPAC. You'll have to check me on that, producer. But I believe this was a SPAC a while ago. Rumble right back to that $10 range. We'll see if we can end up breaking out here and trading higher. I'd love to see Rumble catch a 12 handle. I think we could actually start to get some juice on Rumble. Like this could be a stock that we should check in on every day and see if there's an opportunity to trade it here. This can be fun. Really good formation here on Rumble. We're starting to break away from some of those moving averages. So the key here today is going to be, does this hold, right? Does this hold the gains? If it doesn't, we'll make an adjustment for that. But if it does, we should have some pretty good trading on our hands here. Jonathan also mentioning Rumble also announced a Bitcoin reserve strategy. So we've seen that a few times here. We've seen that a few times here as well. Producer, you got my back. Appreciate it. Rumble became a publicly traded company in September of 2022, trading under the ticker RUM on NASDAQ after merging with a SPAC. Okay, so we'll see here then if Rumble can really get ready. Again, that $12 handle, if we can get above that $12 handle, I actually think we could start building some more trading opportunities. We'll see if we end up getting that here on RUM. As far as downside levels here, I mean, really, I want to hold this $9 breakout, right? So we'll see if we trade back in here today. As long as we hold above 9, we should be all right here. We'll see if we get some more... movement here. Izzy mentioning that Dave Portnoy owns a bunch. So the key takeaway here is that anytime you have one of these, let's call them prominent public figures, especially people that like to be active on social media like Portnoy, you might get some headlines. This is definitely going to be at some headline risk here. Remember, Penn, really, really fun to trade while Portnoy was involved in that. I mean, the thing went all over the place. Single digits to triple digits and so on and so forth. So keep that in mind. Again, I think this news long-term is really good for Rumble. And as far as the trade goes, if we can really break into that 12 area, we'll be in good shape. We'll be in good shape here on Rumble. Okay. Next, and again, I understand the news is kind of light on Christmas week. That's just how it goes, but we will go ahead and cover them. Here's ticker HMC. This is Honda Motor Company. Okay, HMC, Japanese automaker Honda and Nissan start merger talks. Mitsubishi Motors considers joining. Now, I think that the merger date here was 2026, right? Yeah, here we go. Honda and Nissan plan historic merger by 2026. So we have an entire year here where we're likely going to have comments about this, headlines about this, back and forth about this, which means that this will likely be a volatile story. But I will say I don't often trade ticker HMC. In fact, I can't recall a time where I have traded this in the past. But anyway, Honda Motor Company, ticker HMC, planning a merger with Nissan, though the target for that is 2026. Stock here is up almost 15%, just shy of 15% here in the pre-market. As far as a trade goes on this one, I'd like to see how this trades. Just not having any familiarity with this and with the merger being so far in the future, I'd like to see how this trades. I actually think that this might be ripe for a pullback here today out of the open. We'll see if that materializes. So far in the pre-market here, albeit on light volume, it's done a really good job holding that pop. We'll see if this moves back in a little bit after the market opens. But HMC, that's the news there. Nissan and Honda possibly merging. Okay, next here, let's talk about Palantir, everyone's favorite stock. This has probably been this show's stock of the year. I'd be willing to listen to you folks if you have any more that you think, but I'm hard-pressed to find a better stock that affected a larger part of the group here on this show than Palantir. Palantir and Anduril, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I'm doing my best, though. Palantir and Anduril reportedly lease consortium partner with SpaceX and OpenAI, to compete against traditional defense contractors in $850 billion U.S. military market. Now, this is an interesting one. A lot of talk about the incoming administration, a lot of talk about the government fundamentally changing and a lot of this other stuff happening. And we'll see if we end up getting that. But if this is correct, this might mean that some of these other stocks, like defense stocks, most notably Palantir, who has some connections with a lot of the guys coming in on the new administration, might actually bode well for this. So here we are. I'm looking at Palantir. I'm looking at this chart that's absolutely vertical, and I can't help but think the same thing that you folks are thinking. Like, when is this stock going to pull back? I know we've talked a lot about Palantir. We've talked a lot about the fundamentals not really making sense. And then the other thing is like one of the things that we've discussed here is that it doesn't really matter that the fundamentals don't make sense on a name like this, and a story like this shows that that's kind of true. We'll see where this ends up going here with Palantir. For my own trading here, I mean, I like this company. I really like a lot of the people involved, and I really like that there is a pro-America first strategy from the people that are involved here with Palantir. So definitely a company that I'd like to own long term. But I mean, it's just hard. You see a chart moving this violently, it's hard to talk about adding or starting a long-term position here. So I think what we might do, we're just going to keep trading this every day. We're going to keep taking a look at it. We're going to wait for these to come back in. I mean, really, if we get any type of market pullback and this stock comes anywhere near the 200-day, I'm absolutely going to start nibbling on a long-term position. We'll still talk about the shorter-term trades. We can probably use options to capture a lot of that. And we'll talk about, maybe some shorter term swing trades. But as far as a long-term addition here, I really want Palantir to come back in. And I just don't know when it's going to do that. This thing seems to be in all of the right corners of government right now. And with 2025 rapidly approaching and a new administration rapidly approaching, we'll see what that means here for Palantir. Thankfully, this year, we've been able to absolutely blast with this thing. So this thing has made a bunch of money for a lot of us here this year. So even though I'm not currently in it, when this stock's trading up by another 1.4% here today, I don't feel as if I've missed it because we've been able to hit this already so much here this year. So really, really good stuff. Palantir, looking forward to 2025 and beyond here with this name for trading purposes. Okay, next here, we're going to talk about Nvidia. Would it be a morning, especially a Christmas week morning, if we did not talk about Nvidia? Probably the closest thing to Santa Claus that this market has seen this year. This thing brought gifts all of the time. Have this recent head and shoulders here. See that this brought us right down to the 100-day. And that 100-day has done an excellent job producing some solid support for us here. Now, U.S. launches new probe into legacy Chinese chips as tech pressure on Beijing escalates. So that is absolutely going to affect Nvidia here. Also, Taiwan Semiconductor. A quick look at Nvidia here. We're up 1.25%. Not surprised considering the NASDAQ is up almost 0.5% here in the pre-market. If we also take a look at TSM, same deal, 1.5% to the upside here. The TSM chart actually looks a little bit better than the Nvidia chart. I mean, just kind of eyeballing this right here, it sure looks like TSM wants to take out this 206 area, doesn't it? It's got a ton of strength here. We actually recently just held the 50-day. I know we're trading up. We just retook 200 here. Look for TSM to really kind of break out of this 205, 206 area and go for some all-time highs here. I do think that this move could measure 220, 225. So as far as a short-term swing, if we do get that break above that 205, 206 area, I think you got probably about another 20 points here to work with before that might roll back over or slow down here. So good stuff here. I know we talk about Nvidia. It seems like you folks trade Nvidia more often than you trade some of these other names, but TSM, just kind of looking at the chart here, this looks like a pretty good setup. And TSM also not nearly as extended from the 200-day. I know we have all types of macro events. We're worried about China and all that, and military drills that have recently been out there and all that stuff. worth noting. But again, I do think that the better setup is in the TSM chart. CapQuest regarding Palantir, I've been waiting on a pullback since 40. Yo, I feel it. I totally understand. Thankfully, I did have a shorter term long side trade on the way up there, but I feel it. We'll wait and see where Palantir pulls back here, or any of these really kind of blue chip stocks that have gone crazy. We'll see where they pull back and where they end up settling. Okay, Nvidia, TSM. There's your news. Trading higher here today with NASDAQ. I think the setup is actually a little bit better on TSM. Okay, and then the other thing that we want to take a look at, I guess we'll just take a look at crypto here. Let me load up my crypto chart. Crypto futures here this morning down just over 0.5%, 95,900 on /BTC. If we take a look at the spot price here, it's 95,700. You can see we've actually kind of pulled back here. If we take a look at the weekly chart, this is the first pullback since the election. First weekly pullback since the election. Does look like it's kind of holding here. Remember, we had a support area marked off on this daily chart between 85,000 and 90,000. We're not quite there yet. Frankly, as long as Bitcoin holds 90,000 here, that seems great. I wouldn't be surprised if this made some more noise over the Christmas holiday. It seems that Bitcoin likes to do that when we have some of these winter holidays here. So just kind of taking a look at this chart here. I really want to see this hold 90, but if you want to have a little bit like closer area here, really 94, 93 seems to be that area to hold for a potential trade. See if Bitcoin makes its move back up to the top. I'll say this. Let's see how many days do we have left here? Okay, we have a full week. So the New Year's Day is going to be on Wednesday next week. I think that the highs for the year here on Bitcoin probably done for the year. As we pull back from that 108 level, we'll see if we go back up there. My gut tells me, you guys were asking about that little man inside. He's telling me that the highs for the year probably done. Now, what happens next year? We're going to actually reassess. We'll see if we get any fireworks around New Year's here, but a pullback after this nice recent run, especially if this holds 90 to 92,000. I think that's fine. I think that's not a big deal at all here on Bitcoin. Okay. I have movers that we can talk about. I can start those early. I know 13 normally covers some of those movers, so we can wait for that if you want. We can do ticker time now if you folks want to. Let me see what I missed here in the chat. Palantir will help. Will lead or help usher in automated warfare. That's sure what it seems like. The more and more technology involved military people that I talk to or listen to via podcast all seem to think drone warfare is like the next big wave of warfare. So that really kind of lines up there. That might be one of the reasons why you're seeing Palantir do what it's doing here. World Peas Please, Costco apparently is killing it. I almost ran out of gas waiting in line for gas. I think that you're trying to tell a joke there. Costco is absolutely killing it. I will say I went there this weekend, was able to get the perfect briskets. Can't wait for Christmas Day and the first day of Hanukkah. Oh my God, the food's going to be so good. Costco seemed jammed. Again, I'll share with you folks, if you're going to use the Costco gas station, the earlier you use it, the better. Remember, the gas station actually opens up earlier than the store. You can get there early. There is no line. And hey, if you run out of gas in line, just push the car a couple of feet to the gas pump. You'll be okay. Costco is absolutely killing it. They looked really good this holiday season a number of times that I've been in there. Thinking about it, you want to talk about Arcat, Izzy adding LAES. We can go ahead and let me just add these to the list here just to make sure that we cover them here today. Pre-market gainers, LAES is on that, so we'll probably save that here until we start running those movers down. But we can take a look at Arcat here. Much like Palantir, this is another huge winner for our show. Total drone theme winner. The chart here is what's most appealing. It certainly looks like we have a double top going on, and we actually might have the ability to pop out of this area. So today, Red Hat up another 14 1.3%. You absolutely love to see it. Looks like on Friday after hours, we had some news here about insider transactions. Looks like those were sales indeed. So it looks like a number of insiders here were selling some of their stock. Does look like they sold quite a bit of it there. They still own quite a bit, but not surprised given where the chart is up here, this double top area. Really not surprised at all to see this. Remember, one of the things we've been talking about Tim Melvin a lot recently when it comes to insider transactions as it applies to stocks, especially like momentum names. There are any number of reasons why insiders will sell a stock. There's only one reason why an insider would buy a stock. So try not to put too much into that. If these were C-suite executives that were liquidating their entire position, I'd feel a little bit differently about it. But Arcat here, we've had a humongous gain really, really quickly. If I were in the same position that they were, I'd probably be doing the same thing. I'd probably be selling my shares when the stock is high and then reloading when the stock is a little bit lower. So Arcat here, we have something on our hands here today. Are we actually going to break this previous all-time high? This is going to be great for us day traders here. I actually have that high value at $12.57. We're 30 cents away from that right now here in the pre-market. So I absolutely think this can happen. Take a look at Arcat here. We basically popped out of the pre-market. We didn't even retrace a whole lot. We came off the highs. We came off the impulse move. That's normal, but we really didn't break down and retrace a whole lot. So Arcat, definitely keep this on watch here for today. I know a lot of us have long-term positions in this, but if you don't, this actually might be a trade here today. Thinking about it anyway, you were mentioning the CEO said the previous SRR contract winner, Skydio, didn't field half of their drones, implying that the Arcat could pick up those additional orders. That does seem like that would be bullish. Interesting. Okay. Is TSMC still pumping out microchips in Phoenix? Yes, World Peas, please. In fact, didn't we get a news article about that recently? We did. Looked like they were trying to ramp up TSM Arizona chip manufacturing. Let me see if I can find you chip manufacturing. Let me see if I can find you that story. I don't have it handy here, but recently we got news that they were kind of increasing that they were increasing the production here. I can't seem to find it. Manufacturing producer, if you're able to find that, let me know. Fab back on track. This is here. This might have been it. Maybe this was it. I know I'm doing this off screen. You might not be able to see it here, but we did have news. We actually had some positive news here that they were looking to increase their production as early as like early 2025. The big thing here is that, you can't really make those 2-nanometer chips at the chip fabs that we currently have. The one in Arizona should be able to do that. And it does seem like they're expanding. Let me see if I can find that in the news feed, because we did get that. I don't have, I'm trying to find the link so I can actually give you the story so that you can read through it yourself. Because we did recently get some of that here, but I'm sorry, I didn't have that queued up here, and I don't have it here ready for you. But I did see that recently. I'll see if I can find that when I get some more help. Still, they just started making them now, and the next fab is well underway. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. But again, there was a recent news article about them really kind of ramping up some of the advanced chips at their Arizona facilities specifically. It was news specific to that plant. USA scores big win. Taiwan Semiconductor Arizona plant sees good production yields. There we go. So yes, really good stuff there. That hopefully will increase. Okay. Yesterday's okay. You guys are having some XS bucks. Tesla, Jay Harry, you want to take a look at Tesla. World Peace, sorry, you're kind of leading me all over the place. I'm going to try and stay locked in here. Tesla, this is kind of where we left off at with Tesla last week. We had that huge ramp. Actually, shout out to our happy hour traders, because there were a number of folks that were that we're looking around and saying, boy, you know, I really want to short some of these stocks that are making some extended moves up, but it's really hard. Shout out to those that grabbed Tesla here. This thing, we did not quite get to that 520 level. That was the next fib level on this chart. Remember, we had an upgrade from one of these analyst firms that mentioned 515 as one of those potential targets. We did not quite get that. We've started to pull back here. Frankly, I'd love to see this hold 400. I've got the 20-day moving average at 396. I have a previous fib level at 391. I'd love to see it hold 400. That area right in there, let's call it 390 to 400. I think if we hold that, we probably go to 520 next here on the upside. But we'll see on Tesla. If you wanted some shorter term levels there, you could see here in the pre-market, we actually already popped above Friday's high. I'd like to see that level get taken out again. I've got that at 446 and change. Maybe let's just call that area 450. That was the one that we lost on Wednesday when we really kind of sold off. And then these downside levels, of course, you want to watch this 420 area. I don't know if we'll lose that. Maybe every $10 increment. The big level down there, though, is 400. I'm just not sure that we see that here today. So we'll see on Tesla. We'll see when this opens up. We'll see how this trades. Just kind of looking around the market here. A couple of stocks moving. Amazon looking all right here in the pre-market. Apple looking okay. Tesla looking okay. Netflix about flat. So it doesn't really seem like there's a whole ton of movement here in the pre-market. We'll see how some of these big cap stocks act when the market actually opens here. But that's what I got so far here on Tesla. Okay, let's see. Appreciate you, producer. Looking for some news links there. Okay. Let me know, Srinivas. Let me know if the U.S. indices will go up or down. Bro, you need an 8-ball. That's what you need. You need a magic 8-ball to tell you. We don't know which way they're going to go. We just react to it when we see it. We react to it when we see it. Okay, Lion, you want to talk about some of the quantum names? I guess we might as well. Those quantum names have really been moving recently. Let's go to it. Let's get daily charts up here. Here's QMCO, $46 here. What do we got in the pre-market? Never mind. 50 just closed at $42. A lot of the quantum names higher here today. QMCO 52 prints this morning. What was IONQ was another one. This was another one that Wall Street really liked here. This is holding right near Friday's highs. All of these are going to be on watch here for today. All of these quantum names definitely on watch here today. I don't know when this train ends. I don't know when the carousel stops spinning here, but looks like it's still going on these. I do think these need a pullback. I know we've talked about quantum maybe being a little bit closer than we all think. I'd pump the brakes on that. These things have moved pretty far, pretty quickly. I'd really like them to pull back, but it looks like here, all of these this morning are going to be trading higher. QUBT, we got a 20 handle here. Let's check in on QBTS. That's D-Wave Quantum. This also up near Friday's highs, 786. So pretty much across the board. QBTS, QUBT, QMCO, IONQ, all of those higher here by double digits in the pre-market. Looks like the quantum theme is popping here early on a Monday morning. So really good stuff there. That'll give us plenty of stuff to trade right away. We have more movers here that we're going to break down, but quantum names that we've been trading, movers that we've been trading for several weeks. Looks like that's back on here. FNGR. This is a blast from the past here. Finger motion. What's going on with this? This is up 15% here. Looks like we had an offering on Friday. And it looks like we're kind of bouncing back here today. So this one could be a mover. I didn't have it on my list. Here's what happened on Friday after they announced that offering. We basically moved from $2 down to $1.20. Where do we close here? Closed at about $1. So it's almost minus 50% on Friday. We're trying to bounce here. Honestly, I would, I'll avoid this. I'm not going to mess around with finger motion here. We should have better opportunities here today, but that's what's going on with this one. That's what's going on with this one. Okay. You guys are asking about the SPY. Let's see. How are we doing here this morning? It's still in a range. I mean, this is about flat. What do we got here? S&P futures here. Yeah, this is about flat. So I wouldn't necessarily worry. Let's see what the opening print looks like. As far as the SPY goes, just kind of looking at this, I mean, downside level that we really want to pay attention to really seems to be 590. I would generally say Friday's intraday lows, that's at 589.50, but really this 590 area I think is the area of note. Last week was a quad witching, so I wouldn't be surprised if they were trying to pin the price right around 590 here. To me, that makes that the key area here today. We'll see if we lose 590. I definitely want to see how that opening print is, though. I know we're kind of rolling over here in the pre-market. Your point's taken, but I want to see how that opening print is. Let's see what that opening print is like. Okay. Yeah, you guys are just asking for the movers. I guess we'll go ahead and start, and then I'll just have 13 kind of go back over them. I really don't have a whole lot here for you. This is kind of to be expected on Christmas week. We're probably not going to have an extreme news flow here. So looks like that's kind of what we're getting here. So let's just start with the movers. We'll fold 13 in as soon as he's available. First one here is going to be RELI. This is RELI. This is an insurance company, and there was no news this morning when I first checked in on that. Let's see here, Monday, December 23rd. Okay, so we do have a PR here that came out at 8:30. This was after I sat down. Reliance Group reflects on a transformative year and a look ahead to 2025. Okay, I'll be honest with you. This seems just kind of like a fluffy PR here. I did not read this yet because this was not out earlier. They talk about significantly boosting their adjusted EBITDA, unwavering commitment and executing strategic initiatives on fuel expansion. I mean, okay, so we're getting an update here. When I have some more time, I'll go ahead and go through this, but this is what's going on with RELI. Doesn't really seem like there's any material news here. Stock is absolutely ripping here today, up 225% in the pre-market. So you can see this stock was just above $1, about $1.25 on Friday. And then this morning here today, just rip into the highs. We actually printed almost $5 here earlier. Oh my goodness. So RELI, this one definitely going to be in play here today. Keep an eye on this. I honestly, with as big of a move as we've had here in the pre-market, what I would like to see the most is a pullback to one of these support levels. I want to call it VWAP, but I mean, realistically, we're not even that far from VWAP. Maybe this 350, 330 area, a pullback to this area and a hold. This should launch us. Okay. Good news for all of you. 13 is here. 13, how you doing today, man? You're muted.
Sorry about that. I was just listening to the stream trying to get ready, and I heard you guys saying you want to do movers. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to jump on. We'll just do movers live.
Appreciate it, because like I said, I mean, I'll go over whatever news is here, but when we don't have a whole lot and I don't have a morning guest, I mean, it is what it is. So awesome. I basically just broke down RELI. I know you kind of joined at the tail end of that. Did you have anything else on RELI that you wanted to go over, or key levels or anything like that?
Well, when I was reading through the news on Reliance Global, the thing that you had pointed out, their corporate statement that they released, it discussed an acquisition that they're looking forward to in 2025. In addition to a couple other things I didn't finish reading, but the acquisition stood out. So I think it's just getting the market hyped on this thing. It does have 1.627 million shares in the float, so very low float. Did a reverse split back on July 1st, 1-for-17, and it looks like their cash position is okay relative to how much they lose every quarter. But I think they're going to need to get some more at some point soon here, because they do end up burning less than $1 million every quarter in terms of net income. So I don't know if they're going to need to raise money today or whatever the case is. I think they are a little bit at risk of having to do that given their current position, but they do have revenue. They are trying to turn into profitability.
And this acquisition helps them. I basically just skimmed that too while you were going through it. It seems like this acquisition is designed to help their cash position as well. So, okay.
Yeah. So that's what I was getting out of Reliance. So like you said, it probably should have some movement. It did get pretty high in the pre-market. Let me see if I can find some levels. We are above VWAP right now, so that's good news. But if we do get another pop and it takes us up to 450, but no higher than that, I think that might be an indicator that we need to let it shake out and do its thing, because that would kind of give us a bit of a head and shoulders pattern. So if we cannot break 450, I think we need to just hold off and wait. But if it does and it goes on to take out 490, then we're off. I think we're going up much higher.
Okay, it looks like it's trying to curl and break out right here. Let's see if that 415 level ends up holding. Okay, good stuff.
450. Sorry, 450.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm sorry. You had mentioned 450, which is a clear previous resistance area, but it actually looks like it's going to be trying this 415 area first here. So yeah,
I'm sorry.
My fault. I jumped over there. I was unclear there. I apologize.
I like that level though. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll see if we end up getting it here. Volume, not great, but again, that's kind of why we're going to wait for the opening print. But really, it looks pretty good. That should be on deck here today. Okay, next is going to be GTBP, and I think several of you in the chat were clamoring for this one not long ago. I think so anyway. I can't really find it here. Let's figure out what's going on. You can see this was just under $2. We did pop as high as $6. We've come in a little bit here today. I have news here. Oh, no, excuse me. This news was from December 2nd. Holy smokes. No, nothing fresh here on GTBP. What does this company do again? Clinical stage biopharmaceutical company focused on development and commercialization of novel immuno-oncology products. Okay.
Cancer.
And it's up 140% here today on no news. What do you make of this?
Is there anything else that's moving that's related to oncology? Any other biotechs that might be going? That would be my first thought. Second thought, there would be probably relative volume. Gosh, I don't know. Maybe.
So this other one here is COVID and influenza. RAPT. This is another one that's moving here. Clinical stage immunology.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more on the technical side because I'm looking at a daily chart here, and I don't know that's relative volume. We did have some really big volume on Friday, but we also did on Wednesday, and it didn't have a relative volume play either on that day. Same with the previous volume spikes. It didn't really have any follow through with that. So don't know that we're seeing relative volume here. If anything, it's going to be a low RSI bounce. That's what I would get. If you go to a daily chart, I think you can see what I'm referring to. We just kind of had some bullish activity in October, kind of topped out, turned around, and now we're back beneath that consolidation from earlier this year between August and October.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, this GTBP, it looks like this had kind of a rough year. I wonder if we're going to see this as kind of a theme, right? Some of these stocks that really kind of got pounded this year, maybe they pop a little bit later in the year or at the beginning of next year. Anyway, yeah, it looks like what this one's doing here, GTBP.
Yeah. So looking at the 5-minute chart that I use for trading, it's having a hard time recapturing VWAP, putting up a lot of upper shadows here on these 5-minute candles. I think we need to just be patient and wait this one out before we make any trades. It looks like it's going to head a little bit further down in the pre-market before we find a bottom. Okay.
Really good stuff there. GTBP. Next here. Yeah.
Can I answer a question from Senior?
Yeah, of course you can.
He's asking me XLU, would I hold? I actually own IDU, which is very similar to the XLU, but it has a couple of different holdings in it that I wanted exposure to, particularly waste management and is it R? I think it's RGS, Regis Corp. Yeah, I believe that's the one. If it's not, or RSG. Republic Services, RSG, that's the one. So IDU has both of those. I wanted exposure to that end of utilities specifically. So XLU, would I hold? Because I think I would if I'm looking for utility exposure. And I say that because if we are going to start turning around here and sell off a little bit, I think we're going to see some movement into more of the defensive names like industrials, consumer defensive, utilities. But at the same time, there's that concern about rate cuts. So, if I was going to play utilities and I was bullish on utilities for a long term, I kind of am. I would hold XLU, but I would prefer IDU for the reason I gave earlier. It has the exposure to the two companies I want the exposure to. That'd be Waste Management and Republic Services.
Okay.
Hope that answers your question.
Yeah, really good answer there. The one thing that I would say on XLU, really nice move down here to the 200 day. I'd like to add a little bit more there at the 200 day, but I could see why you would end up buying this.
Yeah. Just understand the headwinds when you're for utilities. It's great for defense when you're going to defensive plays, but there is that one angle of rates potentially not getting cut anymore next year, maybe even going up. So just keep that in mind if you're going to go into any utility ETF.
Really quickly here, before we cover TRAW, which is bouncing and just recaptured the VWAP, we should definitely take a look at this one. I think this one could be wild today. You guys were mentioning that the SPY was leaking a little bit. We did end up moving to some new lows here, but what I've noticed here is that the NASDAQ has almost completely given it up here. NASDAQ was actually up about 0.5% earlier. We were just negative a second ago. We're up by 0.05% right now. So NASDAQ here really kind of sold off. I didn't see any news that accompanied this. I looked around here. Maybe I missed something. Amazon's going down. Did you see anything, 13?
No, but one thing that I wanted to point out about the SPY, and I mentioned this on Friday because after we closed, that was Friday was the third time that in a row that we closed beneath the 50-day SMA. Not something you want to see if you're bullish on the SPY. Typically, when you start closing multiple days underneath a moving average such as that, tend to keep going in that same direction. So I would be bearish on SPY at this point, unless we can see a recapture and hold above the 50-day SMA for multiple days. I think this is going down.
Yeah. So, and it was notable here on the SPY that the day that we had here on Friday basically just went right to that 50, and we were not able to close above it. Now, here's the one thing I will say, especially about some of these moving averages. We talk a lot about 3 closes below, multiple closes below, et cetera, et cetera. If we recapture this here today, that's notable. Yes. If we recapture this and then maybe get even another close or two, that would be something to watch. But I'm with you, 13. I think that this is definitely a resistance area. And now that we're seeing the footing become a little bit more slippery here in the pre-market, I'm almost wondering if we're going to make an attempt at this level here today. So, yeah, okay.
Just something I thought was worth pointing out. And that's, a discussion we have frequently in happy hour. So, just want to make sure that we, understand why we're that way with the SPY right now. We just cannot seem to recapture that 50-day SMA. Until we do, I think that we're going to lose altitude. Real quick with RELI, that had a pop and it got up to looks like 435 before it came back in. If we lose VWAP here, I think that's our signal to just avoid this for now and let it shake out.
I remember that 350-ish, 330 area might provide some support, but to 13's point there, if we lose VWAP, I don't think that's you want to hold. You can wait that out. Wait for it to set up. You don't need to necessarily stick with that. Okay, the other one I really quickly wanted to mention here, and obviously it's starting to move since then. This is TRAW. This is Traws Pharma. Traws Pharma shares are trading higher after they announced progress in the development of Tivovaxer or Tivoxavir Marboxy. Boy, that is a complicated drug name there. This is something that's going on with the bird flu, which is making some rounds right now. You can see here the pre-market formation. We had an impulse move up to 16. We pulled all the way back down to single digits, and now it looks like we recaptured the VWAP on some pretty decent pre-market volume. This one I definitely want to watch. Lion Atlas, I know that you were mentioning here earlier that Phio might be the next nuke. I'm not great at calling stocks that go from $1 to $40, so I'm going to let you do that here for the group. But I will say watch TRAW, because at least in the pre-market, this has kind of shown that this can be wild here. Maybe that's going to be your big mover here. Quick look around the horn before I turn this over to 13. TRAW, we do have some short interest in here, but it's very, very low. Don't really see anything here in terms of insider transactions. The company does burn a lot of cash, and it doesn't really have a whole lot on hand here, so we'll see about that. However, the float, right in the area that we really like, 1.7 million shares in the float. On average, the stock trades 12,000 shares, but today traded almost 5.5 million. 13, what do you think here, TRAW?
Well, I think if you're a pre-market trader, you're having a good time right now. This thing looks like it wants to go up to 16 and maybe even break out of it. But I'm not saying there's not a guarantee that. I'm just saying it looks like it's trying to get that price action. The thing about this one is that it seems like it's that biotech that's in the right place at the right time. Been getting a lot of a scare in California about the H5 bird flu influenza. So, here you are with a headline about bird flu treatment with results. So I think it's just a matter of it being in the right place at the right time with the right news. I don't know how much legs this has because, like you said, the cash position isn't really that great. It looks like they do need to raise capital. I don't know anything about this company or how far along they are with their development for the drug that you were naming earlier. I'm not going to say it myself. But if it provides trades, of course, we're going to trade it. And right now it looks like it's trying to go back up to $16 in the pre-market.
Okay. We'll see if TRAW, TRAW, gives us some tradable action here today. I'll be honest, so far with the range in the pre-market 13, I don't have any of these positions. I haven't traded any of them. But looking at the price action and the range here today, the one that's got me the most interested is TRAW. We'll see if that changes right around the open.
Has the nicest looking chart, I think, so far.
Sure does. I'm glad I'm not alone in that one. I'm with you on that one. Okay, next here, we already took a look at GTBP. Next here is going to be RAPT. This is ticker RAPT. This is RAPT Therapeutics. This was a penny stock on Friday. Today, we're flirting with $1.50 here. Did we have news here on RAPT? We did. 150 million private placement here on RAPT. Looks like we also had the Form 8 in there. Let's see. Going through all this. Okay. Looks like it secures funding there. 150 million private placement, stocks up 80% here. Quick look around the horn again. This does have some pretty decent short interest in there. Some recent insider sells and no buys in there. Financials. This actually has cash, although it burns a lot of cash. It does have several quarters worth of cash. And then the share structure here, 26 million shares in the float. What do you make of this one?
Yeah, it's like they have about 38 million in cash, and short-term investments they have 60. So you combine those two, and you're almost at 100 million in liquidity they have to spend on their trials. And then also you have this 150 million placement that helps specifically for advancing their drug pipeline. So it seems like they're going to be well funded, and I don't think there's going to be a risk of them halting and raising intraday. Yeah. So that's good news. As far as the float goes, 26 million shares. Yeah, it's a little bit thicker than we like, but still not so heavy that it's just going to be hard to move. I still think that'll be just fine. Financials, like you said, they looked good. No reverse splits that I can see. Let me take a look at the price action here on RAPT. It looks like it's trying to bounce off of the VWAP right now. See how we just came down to VWAP and tried to lose it, and it's getting held there. So look for a recapture of I want to say 160. Seems like that's kind of the problem level it has. It has these breakouts above it and then comes right back in about 5-10 minutes later. But every time since those breakouts, it just cannot seem to get back above 160. So that would be my first level of interest, and then of course the higher up ones like 185, $2 would be the next level to have.
The two levels on RAPT here are pretty clear. I agree with you. 160. This was a previous breakout level that we actually used as support here in the pre-market, and then we've been unable to break out of it since. And then also that $2 pre-market high level. So we'll see if we get either of those to the upside. We are above the VWAP right here. Okay, it looks like a number of you are mentioning Rigetti here. Yep. This was another quantum name. Rigetti, did we get some recent news? Looks like it. Rigetti shares are trading higher. The company announced it has launched an 84-qubit Anka 3 system and achieved 99.5% medium 2-qubit gate fidelity milestone. Okay, I just gave myself some homework. I need to read up on what some of those terms mean. I'm familiar with qubits, but the rest of this here is pretty foreign to me. Now, the market seems to really like this, up another 26% here today. This has been one of the big movers in our recent quantum theme here, and now we have some fresh news here on Monday that is causing this to pop. looks pretty good here. Let me take a look at the daily chart. Okay, yeah, so we're not quite above those new highs there. I do have that at 1275. We'll see if that gets tested here today. Currently flirting with the $12 level here on Rigetti. 13, what do you think on this RGTI news?
I'm going to have to read up on my Quibit gate fidelity.
Exactly. That's what exactly. I need to do some more homework to understand this PR.
Well, I think I remember what it is. I think it has to do with the not so much the stability, but the number of errors that it's able to reduce or avoid. I could be wrong about that, but that's what I think it is. I think the bigger number that gets the algos going crazy is the Quibit size, 84. I think the larger you see that go, the more excited the algos are going to be over that. And ever since that Google chip, the Willow chip came out,
yeah,
it's been kind of pushing this quantum theme, and then I think you're probably going to see a lot of attention being shifted over to Broadcom as well, being that they are capable of making custom chips. So I think you're going to see a lot of really special things happen in the quantum space. I know we are very, very early, but doesn't mean that the hype has to wait. I think the hype,
and it doesn't mean that there isn't opportunities for us to take advantage of in the meantime too. I mean, the long-term move is one thing, but it's already shown us that there's been a ton of moves here in the short term that you folks have been all over. So, okay. Really good stuff there with the quantum stuff. We're getting back above 12 here. We'll see where this ends up finishing. Did have a couple of, did you have any that you covered here? We can pick and choose if you want, but I mean, I've got a number here on the list that are pretty good.
Sir, it is Christmas week. I woke up a little bit later than normal.
Yeah, totally fine. I totally get it. And look, we came into this week being prepared for that. We knew that was the case. We knew that you folks we're going to have spotty availability in the whole 9 yards. That's how it goes. But we're going to keep breaking down some of the movers here. Ticker PIK. This is Kidpik. We've seen this one trade very much like this a lot. This thing is no stranger to this. This thing popped almost as high as $7. This come all the way back into $3.75 here. Did we have news here on Kidpik? Form 8 here. Didn't really see anything else though. This one is one that we are familiar with. Like here's a look at the daily chart. Every time this stock pops, it likes to give it back. Don't be fooled. Okay, don't be fooled on this name, ticker PIK. 13, do you have anything on this one?
I feel like this is, like you said, it's one of those quick pops that can get people trapped in them, and I think it's just off the holiday shopping season. It's a specialty retail company. Everybody associates Christmas with children. I don't think this is any different here. So I think it's just kind of trying to get into the Christmas spirit is all.
Okay.
I don't see any news.
No, I mean I'm kind of with you on that one. And like I said, this should be no surprise to anybody. This is what this stock does. It pops and it drops. So don't get caught.
There is this Form 8, but I don't really think that there's a whole lot in here. I mean, I'm seeing that there's some conversions being done, but I think this is just more covering bases in management.
All right, PWM, Prestige Wealth. This is one from last week, right? Yep, Thursday last week. This thing had some action in the after hours. Prestige Wealth shares are trading higher after the company announced it had regained NASDAQ compliance. So that has been one of the themes here, or the buckets that we've been trading on some of these smaller names. Look at PWM, the newest addition to that. We went right to those highs at 240. We actually popped a little bit above that. We went right to those previous highs and came back in here. You got anything on this one, 13?
No, just, the NASDAQ compliance is, like you said, it's a theme we've been observing. Yep. So, you just pay attention to some of those that are falling out of compliance. Later on, they end up regaining it because apparently the NASDAQ doesn't want to lose the fees that are associated with, delisting stock. So if the stock's willing to continue to pay fees, I guess they'll keep them on there, but they have to still jump through hoops for the NASDAQ anyway. But yeah, that's what I get here, just regaining compliance, and that was last week on Thursday too. And so this is kind of old news. It's funny how the market does that with new recycled news.
Yeah.
because we had this headline on Thursday.
Yeah, and here we go again. So the game plan on this one, PWM, should be fairly clear. Should be fairly clear there. Okay, Sideshow T. Yakshimash from Poland. Dobrze. Cześć. Hopefully you're doing well. I made it here in time for an hour. All right. Well, glad that your travels were safe. Are you ready to make some money on Christmas morning? Is my next question. Okay, really good stuff there. PWM. Let's take a look at PHIO before Lion has an absolute coronary here on stream. This is the one that Lion saying maybe this is going to be the next NUKK. NUKK, of course, had a. Let me actually check on that here real quick. That was our big trader of the week. Did I type it wrong? That was our big trader of the week last week. It's still at $40 here, although it's been cut in half from that. We'll see. PHIO here. Maybe this is going to be our next runner. We've had a huge pop here. That $5 level seems to be clear resistance at it. It's coming back in a little bit here. Let's see if this one lights here on PHIO. I don't have any. We had two forms from Friday, but I don't have anything else. Remember, on Thursday we had that direct offering news here, as well as dose escalation here. So this is for one of its drugs. That was from last week, December 19th. Okay. We'll see if this ends up rolling here. What do you think on this one? I'm a little skeptical. I know Lion has been great with his calls recently. Seems really, really confident about today's, but I'm a little bit more skeptical on that.
PHIO. I'm trying to see if I had any notes here from this. Okay, so, I'll say this. The float is small enough that it could absolutely do what NUKK did, for sure. There's no doubting that. And
1.1 million shares basically in the float.
Yeah.
1 million.
Yeah, and we've already traded over 6.5 times that this morning. And we're not even open yet, so it could totally go crazy. When I guess the thing I need to know is when you're looking for these that are going to make moves like NUKK, how do you know that they're going to do that? Is this a guess, or is there something you're seeing in these companies that go, okay, well, this is going to, or are you hearing like some kind of pumper group or something mention this? Like, I am just kind of curious as to where you're getting the information about these being, hundreds of percents runners. That's the thing I'd be curious about.
Okay, so you're basically saying it's the tiny float. Okay, 13 covered that. That makes a lot of sense here. 13, the one thing that I will add to this, I'm just kind of going over the PR while you were breaking it down like a fraction for us here. This does seem to be like a drug about, cancer and tumor response and all of that. This is talking about Merkel cell carcinoma. 4 patients were diagnosed with cutaneous squamous cell carcinoma at day 36. The first 2 patients who completed the treatment showed 100% tumor clearance and partial response of 90% clearance. So again, I know I'm just kind of skimming this PR here. I'm absolutely not a medical professional, but this does seem like pretty good pathology data regarding cancer treatment. So just in some of the themes where we've seen some of these stocks move, it does seem like this fits here. So we got a combination of good data for cancer treatments coupled with the small float. Maybe that's going to be enough to light this powder keg, but we'll see. We'll see on this one.
And it sounds like, I mean, I'm maybe getting ahead of myself here, but it sounds like if this is, meant to help treat, multiple types of stage of melanoma or other types of skin cancer, without radiotherapy, that could be really big. I think that could be the big takeaway here is that you're able to treat this, even stage 4 melanoma, without radiotherapy. I think that's a big deal, and that could be one of the reasons why this would move. That would be the thing I would put my hat on.
So my only follow-up question to that is, could that make it go nuclear? That was just for you, Dad Joke Master. That was just for you.
Well, I giggled, but yeah. So I don't know, but if it's because they're still in phase 2B, so they still have a much larger phase coming, maybe even other types of phase Bs that they still have to get through. other angles that they're trying to test the drug for. But if it does what it says it's doing, which is treating cancer in later stages without radiotherapy, at least that's what I'm understanding, that could be really big. Absolutely.
Okay, Lion, we'll see. I'll tell you what, Lion, you start making more of these crazy calls that end up working here, we're gonna have to figure something out. That's all I'm gonna say here. We'll see if this goes nuclear here. God bless. Glad you shared it with everybody prior to that. Okay, 13, are there any other really quick movers that you want to cover? I actually need to step away here real fast before we open up here. I did cover Rumble. They had a $775 million investment from Tether. That's why they're up here 43% here today. But is there any other mover that you want me to put on the screen here real quick while I step away?
I'm getting asked about Tesla.
Okay, so let me put up a day. You know what? That's good. Tesla this is definitely going to be in play here today. Here's your daily chart of Tesla. 13, maybe give me 2 or 3 minutes. I'll be right back, okay?
Okay. So what's interesting about Tesla here is that we've come right back down to almost where the highs were back in November of 2021. That is now a support level. And that high that I have looks like it's 414.50. And what did we end up printing? Looks like on Friday. The low was 417.64. So we're about about $3 away from that support level. This is, because we ended up getting that low and testing that area, that's, see, I don't have the fibs exactly like he does, but that level was particularly interesting because of where, that was the high since, that's been the high since we just broke through it. So looking at that level as a support now, since we've moved above it, getting that now from the, on Friday, I would think that we try to start moving away to the upside from this level, at the very least consolidate. I don't know that we're going to hit 420 exactly, but I think that level could potentially be in play as the price tries to figure out if it's going to move away or not. It might just continue going sideways a little bit before we get the movement up and away. But so far, seeing that particular level hold support is good. There's a couple of other things that I'm seeing that might be a headwind to that. The RSI, it's not extended, but it's on the higher side. It's just under 63, so shouldn't be too much more upside before we get into overbought again. So that's one headwind for that whole thought on just getting support and reversing here. The other thing is that the MACD is starting to cross the downside as well. So I think this is what the level I mentioned is what you're going to want to watch for. You could even round it off to 415 and just call that the level to keep an eye out for. Obviously, if we get to 415, you're already going to go through 420. So I can't say with any certainty that we'll see 420 today, but if we do end up testing that support level again, then we will. So hopefully that gives you some idea of why we would be hitting 420 today if we do. If not, it's because we already got support and the price is going to try to start moving away. But that 415 level, keep an eye on it. All right, so you guys were talking W key as well, HOVR. We'll get to all these so that we can get them on the screen here in a second. Jane Smith, RGTI getting interesting. Yeah, we talked about that one. Happy Festivus. Ryan in 13 says, Jay Rice. Thank you very much. You do the same. PDYN news reads well. What's going on with PDYN? I'm going to take a look at that. Well, we wait for. Oh, it's Paladine. This one. We talked about this one last week. This is the other drone name, right? Autonomous pilot AI software. So it seems like this is getting a rehash of news I thought we already knew about. Didn't we already? I mean. Maybe that's just my imagination, but I thought we talked about this one already. They're partnering with RedCat. We know that. They just raised money in October. We know that. We have insider buying. So there's a lot of good things that we're seeing out of this Paladine stock. Now let's see if we can get some levels here.
All right, which one? I'm sorry about that, 13.
No worries. We just moved on to Paladine after I discussed.
Oh, PDYN. That was a former runner, right?
Yep, and it's a runner today.
Oh my goodness. Did we have fresh news? I step away for 1 second and look at what happens.
I think it's rehashed news.
Let's see.
It achieved a milestone with first autonomous tracking flight using pilot AI software. Third-party drone successfully identifies, prioritizes, and tracks terrestrial targets autonomously. I feel like when we covered this one last, we already knew that this was this had some AI pilot software.
Okay, I think I see where this is coming from. So real quickly here, just to kind of, this is another reason why Benzinga Pro is so awesome, by the way, when you're deciphering whether news is fresh, rehashed, or otherwise. So looking at the feed here, 13 in order, these are what our news events were prior to this one. Okay, so the most recent piece of news we had here, I guess there were some insider transactions, but I'm not really counting that. Palantir AI and RedCat, which is Arcat, expand their partnership for teal drones. We had a huge move that day. Okay. Prior to that, we had a $7 million registered direct offering. Prior to that, successfully completes first stage of its multi-million-dollar Air Force contract. So totally separate. AI partner to embed artificial intelligence into teal drones. That was kind of like the Arcat news that we got. The business update, that's not really anything. And then there was one more in here. I could have sworn, no, I might have gone too far past it. Here we go. RedCat and Palantir AI partner to embed artificial intelligence in teal drones to enable autonomous operation. So I think that's the news that's related to today, right? Because these are key milestone for the first with autonomous tracking flight. So this does kind of feel repackaged to me.
A little bit, but I mean, if they're saying that this is, they've already talked about their software and what it can do, and now we've tested it, and so now we know it works. I guess that's really the news, the difference here. Is that they've gone from one stage of testing their software to the next. That's about all I got from this. Okay. But not that I don't want to downplay it. It's
no. This is all really good. Like I wouldn't be shocked if this ran, but I do feel like this is nothing groundbreaking, I guess is the way I would put that there.
I did want to real quick get circle around to some of the other stocks that we were getting while you were requested for while you were gone. Izzy was asking about HOVR, and Jonathan Cooper was asking about WKey. Looking at HOVR, that is a penny stock that is moving off of news from Friday. It was in the after hours when they got it. They secured an $8.4 million strategic investment. So it's for their eVTOL development. So it's moving off of news that came in the after hours on Friday. Company has 15.8 million shares in the float. Not some negligible short interest. No reverse splits. Cash position, financials. Good thing they raised some money because, or they got some money because it looked like they needed it. HOVR.
HOVR. Here you go.
And WKey was also asked about this one. Don't see any news today. Seems like there was some volatility trading on Friday. So no news with volatility in one day. Maybe it's just an RVol play. It doesn't look like the volume was really that substantial on Friday, but do have a bit of an interesting setup here. Kind of looks like a really, really droopy looking bull flag. So let's see what this does out of the open. I don't think we've got a whole lot of movement here to kind of really tell us what's going to happen. Let me see where we're at here with the intraday chart real quick. So we are above VWAP. Looks like 960 is the level it wants to try and take out. And if we do end up taking out that level, we could have some legs to 11, maybe higher. So need to make sure the volume matches with that. But it's above VWAP right now, trying to push up into the 9 area and have Friday's high at 959, so 960. That would be the level I'd be watching for a breakout for at 960.
Okay, and then I'd still watch that $9 level here, which we just tested a second ago. Okay, good stuff there on WKey. They had a 1M80K, a 1 minute 80K volume spike. Yeah, that's this one right in here that took us to those highs, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
So
109,000 shares traded in that 1 minute candle. The 80K trade came in that one. That took us to the highest. Okay, Jonathan, good stuff there. I think we hit all of them on the list, didn't we? Did we take a look at LAES?
I don't think we did. That
This is a
today?
Momo play. Let's see. We did get a PR here this morning. Tackles potential Bitcoin quantum vulnerability. Okay,
Okay.
so yeah, this could be a real good PR. I actually heard a lot
It's a
about
very
this
good
over the
PR.
weekend. So
It's a very good PR.
yeah,
Seals Q advancing field of post quantum cryptography.
yep, we're
So
gonna need that.
yes, that's huge. That could be. This is something to really watch for. If they are, if the company is doing what it says they're doing, that could be very, very big. Now, is this?
Really quickly, just to kind of set the stage for this, the two sentences in this PR are a really good summary of what we've kind of been talking about across a couple of our shows for the past couple of weeks. As quantum computing evolves, its potential to disrupt blockchain-based systems like Bitcoin is becoming more evident. Bitcoin security relies on cryptographic principles that could be compromised by sufficiently powerful quantum computers. That's a really good summary of kind of what we were talking about recently.
Yeah, so we're getting into. I mean, we could be entering into a little bit of a phase where the theme is, quantum and anti-quantum, like the counter to the quantum, computing, because we're going to need barriers and the defenses on and offense on both sides. You know what I'm saying? Like we're going to need everything.
Sure.
So we could end up seeing a lot of really speculative investment come into that. Throughout the next year, something to watch for. I'm not saying that that's going to be a theme, but it could be. So I think we need to kind of watch and see what happens to that, because even though we're ways away from quantum computing, doesn't mean that the excitement and the investment is going to start rolling in later. It could happen soon.
I was going to say, weren't one of the things that we had discussed last week was that we're actually a bit closer?
We're much closer to
than initially thought.
Yeah, we thought we were like decades away. It's always been, it's 10 years out. It's 10 years out. Well, since Google came out with that chip, the conversation has shifted. It seems like we could be within a decade, not decades away. So we'll see if that ends up materializing, because that's still, I don't know if I would fully, trust that comment yet, but getting closer than decades is much, and within a decade, that's a significant leap, and I think it shouldn't be overlooked. Okay,
good stuff there. We got 13 minutes till we open. Do we have more movers that we want to go over here? I know there's a lot of stuff that's up double digits here today.
Indicator of a speculative market.
Indeed it is. And on Christmas week, that should be no surprise here. LYT, this is one that we talked about this one. This had just the massive fallout after that pre-market move. It looked like it tried to do the same thing again here today, but market participants were not buying it. They were just like, nah, we saw how this happened on Friday. We're not even going to wait for the regular session. Looks like this came back in. I guess keep it on your radar, but be careful with this one. We just saw how bad this traded.
I would keep it on my radar for the one fact that it could be a relative volume play. I mean, you look at the daily chart and you see that out of nowhere we have this huge volume spike on Friday.
Yeah.
So we could see some continuation of that. So I don't know that we're going to get it right out of the gate, but just keep LYT like kind of on a watch list or on your radar in case it starts to see some movement. It could try to go again with the relative volume play. Just something to watch.
Okay, absolutely. That's something. There's a lot of stuff here to watch.
Oh yeah, Tom V. I remember when the Pentium 2s came out. Those
dude, yes.
Oh, dude.
Pentium. I remember. The computers. Oh man, that was a huge chip. Weird Al had a song. It's all about the Pentiums. I mean, oh yeah, that was you remember that?
I remember a lot of his songs. I don't remember that one.
It's all about the Pentiums. That's something for you to listen to later today if you want to have a laugh.
All right.
In any case, I do remember that chip. That was a big deal back then. God, how far we've come from that.
April Fool's Poker is saying he's a long-term holder of LYT. He's familiar with the management team. Makes I think I don't know what you mean by careful Chicos. If you think if you mean what I think you mean, it's you're just telling us to be careful. But yeah, if you could give us a little bit more about why you like LYT, that probably be really good for us, so that we have a better understanding of what this company does and how they're operated. That'd be great.
Okay.
Just kind of watching to see if we're going to get that breakdown from RELI. Remember, we were watching for that to see if it would break 450, and it didn't. It came back to VWAP. It's still holding VWAP. So as long as we don't break down from VWAP, there's still a good chance that this is going to turn around and try to push higher. So we wanted to see that VWAP.
Yeah, and it's so far it's held that level, and this is pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. Anything else in the list here? Still a lot of stuff. We better do. Ashan is asking about ALGS. Ashan, I know you've been asking if there's nothing going on here. If there's nothing going on here, and you're just asking about something that's in your portfolio and then making a big deal about it because we didn't cover it fast enough, I'm going to be disappointed. I'm just throwing it out there right now. Here is ALGS. This is up 8% here in the pre-market. Do we have news? Nope. Nothing going on here with ALGS.
No, I propose poker. I understand that that's what you meant by Chicos. I was just wondering if you were telling us to be careful or not. Because if you are, like maybe we'll kind of have a different plan about what to do with LYT. But you're saying there are very few microcap ADRs from India. LYT is one of them. Lots of opportunity for profit, but also shenanigans. Got you. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, and for the Spanish translation too.
All right, ALGS, Ashan, I know you're asking about this. I don't really see anything going on here other than its recent move, which has been awesome. Really comes down to that recapture of the 200-day, which is something that we take a look at all of the time. And the back tests of that 200-day, it really blasted off from there. I don't really see anything else going on here right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. What am I missing? We had news last week. I guess this was the liver meeting. What am I missing here?
I don't know what's going on with that. I'm going to mention Matt's put on your radar post CGC and Tilray. The 20-day is oops, hold on a second. He said the 20-day is trending up. CGC and Tilray, the marijuana stocks, I think I really can't say how those are going to work. I know. Okay, so let me look and see what you're talking about first, because there might be some technical moves here, but I don't know that those marijuana stocks are necessarily going to get the run that we're all hoping and looking for until we get some of that descheduling from the DEA. So let's see here. I'll start with CGC. I mean, you get what I'm talking about. If you're following these, you know what I'm referring to. This is okay. So CGC is actually interesting because we are coming down. We've come down to a low here from March. This is actually the all-time low, as far as I can tell. Yeah. So we might see a potential double bottom here if we can reverse off of this particular level. Do you see what I'm referring to here with CGC? You might have to back out a little bit more so you can get a bigger idea. There we go. And
it's just this 500-day is really disrupting what the chart looks like.
Oh.
What are you trying to show here? I'm sorry, man.
There you go. So you see it right there. So you see how in March we had the all-time low, a little bit more to the left. There you go. And that's where we're at right now. So we could see a potential double bottom here in CGC. If we can hold this this low, which was this 276, 275. So that would be the low that we have to hold. We did break through it on Thursday and Friday, but we've come back up off that level. So that's what we want to continue seeing is that reversal, recapture some of these SMAs, the 20, the 50 on our way up to the 200. RSI is also low. I mean, this has kind of all the hallmarks of a double bottom bounce. So it's kind of interesting here.
Cyril here saying weed stocks are lame, in my humble opinion. They've been, you know what though, until we get like the federal legalization, there's been a lot of this, right? Like we had a little bit of action, like you were just talking about some of the levels there. We had a little bit of action at the beginning part of the year. This thing just bled the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, like I started with, until we get that deschedulization of marijuana off being a Schedule I substance, until it gets knocked down to like a 3, I don't know that these are necessarily going to do what we hope they're going to do. They might have some, individual pops or some, theme pops on their own, like we got back in March and we double bottom. I mean, we could end up having this rally like we did back in March, where it just kind of spikes up into the teens and then comes right back in, just because it's been so oversold.
Okay.
So that's possible, but yes, I don't think we're going to really get that big move that's going to be sustained, and then it's going to take us into the stratosphere until we get that deschedulization.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% on that, 13. 100%. Okay, we got 5 minutes till the market opens here. Let's see what the scanners are doing here so far today.
Getting asked, which setup do I like more, Arcat or RGTI? Let's see here. I'll look at both and I'll give you an answer.
Arcat, or what was the other? It wasn't Rigetti. Sorry. RGTI. Ooh, Rigetti, this actually did. Okay, so when we first talked about this, we talked about the first leg that took us above 12. We actually looked like we're in the next leg up here. We might be trying to go even more.
Yeah. At this point, I would probably say Rigetti. And here's the thing. If you look on the 18th, the high that day was 1275. And that's the high that we made in pre-market. So if you kind of back out and take a bigger larger look at the smaller time frames, you can see that we've kind of had a bit of a rounding bottom after we hit 1275, and now we're back up here to try and break through it. I do like RGTI here, so look for a break at 1275 that's going to take us higher. How high? Let me see. Well, according to this, that would be new all-time highs
on Rigetti.
Yeah, I mean, unless I'm looking at this wrong.
I have the all-time highs at that 1275 that we were just talking about.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, so we'd be breaking out the new all-time highs with RGTI.
Yep. Let's see if we get it here today.
So there's your answer. I like RGTI. Not that Arcat couldn't do something, but man, the setup here for RGTI looks juicy.
Okay, well, let's see. I mean, look, Arcat's been no stranger to moving along. This could break here again today. We'll see. Arcat's doing a pretty good job holding 12 here today.
Yep. They could both do wonderful things today, but for me, I think RGTI looks the most interesting, especially if we're about to break into new all-time highs.
Okay. Okie dokie. We're getting ready for an open here. We're at less than 3 minutes here. Quick look on some of the movers that we already talked about here today. They're still moving here. Watch TRAW. Let's see. RAPT. We want that to clear 160. Someone brought up Edible earlier. Edible Garden. This is just a penny stock. This is moving around in the pre-market.
And Line Atlas and others were mentioning SIDU. This is one of the space plays. This is actually the space
PDYN. Sorry to interrupt, but PDYN might take out its pre-market high as we speak. 13.
Oh, this is the next NUKK, right?
Paladine. This is the one that you covered. I came back.
Right.
So I missed what you said here. So sorry, I don't know.
What was the one that Line Atlas was saying that could be the next?
Sorry, PHIO is the one that Line was calling to be the next. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Yep. So, but anyway, with SIDU, that was one of the space plays that they had a launch over the weekend to expand their Lizzie Sat 2 network. This is also the company that was hired by Lone Star to create a lunar data center. So there, the company needs to work on its financials. I think I've mentioned that numerous times, but if they continue to get work like this, could be a really good play.
Okie dokie. Sorry, I'm trying to get a banner ready here for pro. Let's see, QUBT or QBTS. Actually, I bet QUBT is the same deal here, even though I misspoke. I bet all of those quantum names gearing into the open here. Indeed, QUBT closer to the VWAP. Might be a little bit more ready. Rumble here losing it a little bit, but still doing its best to hold on to that $10 level. We'll see. IKNA, another oncology name, 13. We didn't actually cover this one. Is flirting with its VWAP as we speak here. FFIE, there's a blast from the past. Popped again here today. WISA, WISA, that's curling maybe to the VWAP.
That's a great point, Fairchild. I could definitely see that, especially when it comes to not just putting boots on the ground, but also pilots in the sky. If you were pilots to just be a human AI controlling a bunch of AI aircraft, that'd be awesome. That'd be right out of the movie Stealth.
Okay, we are open.
All right, what's looking good? What's looking good? Hope everybody has a good day.
Yeah, me too. I'm hoping for a fun Christmas week here. I'm not going to lie. Hoping for a fun Christmas week.
All right, so RELI, trying to decide if it's going to break down VWAP or if it's going to bounce off of it. Looks like it's trying to push up. I'm going to wait on that one. TRAW. Sorry.
I was just going to say RAPT is holding the VWAP here. Nothing really happened. So TRAW, this actually looks like it might be pushing. Oop. No, I spoke too soon, 13. Damn.
Yeah, it's trying to get into the 13 handle. There it goes. Trying to it's 7. Okay, now it's it keeps getting into the 13 handle and then getting pushed out of it. All right, so what's some other ones doing while that does its thing? RGTI, that's going bounced off.
PHIO is trying to come up off that opening print on PHIO. Not really getting juiced here, but it did look like it was trying a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like TRAW is the one that's trying to get going here, looking for 16 in TRAW.
That's kind of what I thought at the open, if you recall, or in the pre-market.
Arcat, that one lost the support, so now that whole sideways action is going to be resistance area, supply zone for Arcat if it turns around and trades back up. So there's something to watch for now. PDYN, that also fell out on the open, and some of these had run up into the open too, so not too unexpected, but we wanted to see something more out of this.
With TRAW, watch this 1350 area on TRAW. That might pop towards the $16. It feels like that is not reachable, but maybe it is.
It might need a little bit of time.
Yeah, it might kind of need to reset here too. I feel like
I don't think it'll. I mean, it could, but I don't think it will in the next 5 minutes get to 16. It might take 2-3 times that, maybe more.
Tony's asking if TRAW needs money here. They burn 11 mil a quarter, and they only have 5 mil on cash on hand. So I would say yes, they do. Unless there was something else that you uncovered there in your due diligence, 13, I missed there.
No, I think that's correct. That was one of the things I was looking at, was that they needed cash. They have almost 5.5 million on the balance sheet. And this is just the one that was in the right place at the right time, because you're getting that scare with bird flu in California. And this has a bird flu treatment. So
I think that's it. Looks like Tesla, a lot of options here, both calls and puts on Tesla. Tesla moving lower here out of the open. NUKK is getting mentioned by several chatters. I guess we might as well take a look at that. That was a previous mover for us. We know how good that was. And oh my, here it's doing it again. 13. Look at this, dude. It's doing it again.
Is it? Well, it should have halted by now.
I think it will up here. Looks like this is several 1 minute sticks that took us higher here.
No. Be careful with this. Look at the volume. I don't think that's enough. It could be that it's just really spready, so you're getting this price action, but there's almost no volume here. So if you come into an area where there's a large seller, it might not be able to get through all that. I'd be careful with NUKK here. The volume, I need to see more volume than this.
So real quick, just on those volume numbers, because that's generally speaking a very good point about the volume, as we've discussed. On average, the 100-day average here for Nuke is 4.3. We've only traded 450,000 shares here off the open.
Yeah, I need to see more volume.
We saw a lot more than this on the big, right? When this thing really did its huge move, we saw like 10, 15x this volume. So it is moving. I think you're probably right here, 13. This is moving right out of the open, but I think I agree with you. Volume numbers, not the same as that last big time run that we saw.
I just don't want anybody getting hurt in this. That didn't,
Yeah,
I mean, it's great that it's moving up, but I don't think that we're seeing the same thing as we saw last week. The volume just doesn't seem the same.
So just temper your expectations. I think that's a smart move. AVXL, this trading higher out of the open here. This actually at about 50% of its average volume already and 24% of the float shorted, 16 days to cover. So interesting here, AVXL, high short interest, 20% higher right out of the open here.
This could really get going with a break over 1045. If you look at a daily chart, I think you'll see what I'm saying.
Yep, I sure can, 13. Good spot there. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so this could be a real interesting one. The volume continues to expand. Let's see what we get. So far, only one trade today, and that was in TRAW.
How am I getting spam text messages Christmas week at 9 o'clock in the morning? I don't get it.
Because last minute shoppers.
I mean, rum here, this is popping out of the open. So at that $11 level was going to be the after hours high that we tried to break through this morning, but we couldn't hold above it. We're approaching that level now.
Thoughts on CTM government contract?
That wasn't on our list here this morning. Oh, yikes. Company announced the pricing of a $3.6 million registered direct offering of 9.47 million shares at 38 cents per share.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's great that it's got a contract, but if it doesn't have money, you're going to see this. You're going to see things like this where they have to, unfortunately. So it's for their Oasis program. Oasis
did
Plus.
Did they even give numbers in that?
I don't know.
No, I don't see them in here. I was just scanning, so I figured I'd ask you, but
it's just I think the direct offering is just really hammering it because it's priced so low, 38 cents a share. That cut it in half from where it was before the offering.
Yeah. Yeah, Wiss, I don't know, man. I think you got better opportunities. That don't look too good.
Well, let the bearishness from the offering shake out, and then it might be a better trade. Also, what is the share structure like? 28 million. I don't think they'll do a reverse split. They may have already done one. Let's take a look here real quick and I'll confirm that. Nope, they have not. It could be a situation where they do a reverse split. So that'd be something else to watch for with this one, because this may have lost NASDAQ compliance. I'd have to look further down to see if that's the case. But yeah, I think I'd have to dig into this a little bit more in order to give you a better answer. But wait for that. Wait for the bearishness from the offering to shake out, and then we can try and trade it.
Okay, real quick here, RELI, by the way, that's trading up to that 450 area. It stopped there and couldn't break above it. TRAW, this came right back into the VWAP and is bouncing here on TRAW, so that is also going here or trying to produce a trade. Really, this thing needs to get above 13, I feel like. And then we can start talking about those previous levels there at 13 and change. And then remember, 16 is that pre-market high. So TRAW is starting to turn around here. See if this gets rolling. Was anything else moving that I'm missing here? RAPT? No.
Just waiting for AVXL to try and do that 1045 break that we thought was interesting.
Bonjour, Smoke Tuna. It's great to see you as always.
I don't have a whole lot on the contract. I'm not familiar with what the Oasis Plus program is. I see what it stands for, but I don't know enough about it to really give you an answer on the contract. So sorry about that. What else looks good? Looks like Traw's doing okay. Trying to push back up here. Still holding VWAP, so that's good. And like I said, this is, we're not going to snap right to 16. It could take a little time, a bit of time for it to get up to 16.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking at right now. So Paladine now getting support from the 65 EMA. Arcat getting support from the 200 EMA.
Here we go on TRAW. Right above that high there is, this isn't going to halt, is it? Yeah, it is. This is going to halt if it holds here 1368 on TRAW.
Yep.
Halted. There it is. Okay. So there's one.
Yep.
I'm actually in that here.
We'll
1270 is my price there.
Okay. So you're already up almost $1.
Yep. Yep. We'll see if we pop out of this halt here. I'm not even gonna mess around. We're just gonna vacate that position, call it a dub, and move on. Lunar here getting mentioned by the group. Lunar popped right out of this $14 handle. We actually popped above 16 briefly on Lunar.
Space still strong.
Space still strong. Watch that high on Lunar. I've got that, 1713. Did I get that right number there? Let's see.
I got
1714. Excuse me. I was off by a penny.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta be able to read the charts correctly. 13. I mean, clearly that's the big thing there. Okay.
Lunar with a really nice MACD curl on the daily.
Okay.
I mean, looks like it wants to try for at least 1750, and if we break through that, then might get up into 20. So we'll see.
Here we go with this 16 level. You said you wanted to build above 16 before you see it go into 20?
1750 was the
1750, okay.
was the area I was looking for it to break out of. I was waiting on TRAW. What's RAPT doing? RAPT had a pop out the gate, but didn't really go anywhere. This was, let's see, this was the 160. Yeah. So this is the one that we were talking about that needed to break over 160. And it looks like it did out of the open, and it's coming right back down. Now looking at 160 as support. So if we get 160 support here and it starts to turn around and go and move higher, maybe a break over 199 is coming.
Every time I look at this ticker or you guys say RAPT, I think of Trapped, the music group. I can't help it. Can't help it there. We'll see if this ends up ripping here. LYT, I'm noticing that on the scanner here too. Is that, I'd be careful. Don't want this to suck anybody up. PIC is up on volume. Remember, we talked about that one. If you get gains in this one, don't be afraid to take them. Be careful with PIC. AMST, oh, this is real thin. NVNI halted to the downside. This was a mover last week on Friday. Looks like now we're halted to the downside here. Rich Tech Robotics is back today. Another move higher. This had moved with Serve in the past. Serve moving the opposite direction here today.
That AVXL, that really is looking like it wants to get over 1045. It's there right now.
Yeah, it's there right now. There it is. There's 1046.
It's got a little bit of a wall at 1050. Stock's kind of thin, so unless we start seeing an expansion of volume here, we could pull back in here. All right. Wolf is pumping.
Robert here was mentioning NVMI at the bottom of the channel. So, I mean, I'm looking at a 15. I'm not really sure what time frame that's on, Robert. Just kind of looking at a 15. The past couple of days, looks like that channel is kind of broadening out. Yeah, Smoke Tuna here saying another day of junk on the moves. Junk of junk. Yeah. Extra careful trading these. Look, we try to tell you about that with the Christmas week here. You should absolutely expect that. Don't be afraid to take gains. If you get gains in some of these stocks, just don't get yourself punished on Christmas week. That's not what we need. How long do halts last? They can be 5 or 10. minutes if they're volatility halts. Manual halt for news pending can be indefinite. I mean, that can last any amount of time. These halts that we're calling here, there are 5 or 10 minute halts for volatility.
Yeah. Well, it looks like AVXL popped to 1056, but it has not been able to sustain that breakout. So waiting for more volume. See if it's now getting support at 1045. So maybe this gets going, but this is the one we were talking about breaking out into blue sky territory over 1045. So see if we get that. And then Lunar was also getting mentioned. They had NASA contracts. I don't know if this is the ones we were still waiting for with Lunar.
TRAW is open and moving higher. I'm closing my position into that pop. So one of one today on TRAW. It might go higher here. I just wanted my gains. And it is open here. It looks like 14 prints there. What did I fill that sell at? I filled at 1392.
Yeah, it looks like the news for Lunar. I think this is one of the other NASA contracts we were waiting for. And it's also got, short interest. So that's helping it push along here. See if you can get back above and hold 16. Ugly wicks there for the time being. TRAW, here we go.
Yep. Now remember, folks, I'm out of this. So I told you my plan ahead of time. I told you I was selling into that pop as soon as we opened. That's what I did. Now it might still go higher here. There we go. TRAW starting to go. 15s. Here we go on TRAW. Are we going to take 15s out again? This thing is spread. This thing is volatile. Be careful. I didn't have a huge position, so I just kind of dumped the whole thing.
But you made money.
Tony Watt, he's calling for Chewbacca early in the morning. I don't know what to tell you on that one. There you go. TRAW continuing to move higher here. Congrats to anyone that took it.
Yep.
We're finding winners every day. 13.
Yep, it's going to hit 16.
Robert Smith sold 15. Another register ring for you folks. Guys, here's the thing, especially Smoke Tuna, we just read you that. Don't be, here we go. This is going to halt here. 1561 if it holds. It did not hold. It came off that spot. Okay. Sorry. Like I was saying earlier here, now higher we go. Like I was saying earlier here, don't be worried. I didn't hit the top here. I'm okay with that. Here we go. It's moving higher here still. Let's see if we hit 16.
Yeah, we're just like really close to 4 cents away.
1596 I've got as your day high here. There it goes. There and right through 16, 20 cent pop. Boom, boom, boom. Out TRAW 1571 crimp biscuit. I'm seeing a lot of mentions here that this is a green Monday.
Yeah, and if this if TRAW keeps going, I have 1780 as the next upside target for resistance.
Spread the money around 13. Let's go.
And look at AVXL. This one also ripping as well.
Okay, we talked about that one as well here. Let me bring that on screen. AVXL, big rip here. This is actually on the second leg up. Conditionally accepted regarding TRAW here. It has a volume shelf that goes back to May. That's at about $17. We're actually only 50 cents away from that area here on TRAW. Well, we hooked it. I told you this morning in the pre-market, this one feels like the mover of the day. Here's that level that we're in. You guys are sharp, man. You guys are all over this here on TRAW. We are at the top end of that range here. Really good stuff from the group today.
Oh, yeah.
Really good stuff here today.
Love it when we just come in here and kick the market store and be like,
yeah,
this money.
Yep. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love that. You folks are all over this. 1664. Are we going to halt here?
It looks like we are.
It's got to hold here. It's not halted yet. I'll call it as soon as it's halted here, but it is halted.
It's halted, yep. There
we go. 1664. So it went pretty much right to that target. Well, remind me again with that 17. What target did you have?
1780.
1780 is going to be your next upside spot. Really good stuff, 13. Really good stuff.
Let's see if RAPT can get enough volume expansion to push up over 170. It's currently fighting with VWAP right now. It's like 2 is bottom for which one, Lion?
PHIO, I think is what he's talking
Oh, okay.
about.
Gotcha.
I don't know because he's not putting tickers in any of this, but this is the one that he was on this morning, and it is near $2, and it has sold out of the open here. AMOD also, what is this? It must just be super thin. Excuse me. Sorry. Rum here continuing right back up to the highs. Watch for 11 there. Remember, we had news there about Portnoy, I think, bringing the CEO on his stream today. Am I getting that right? Izzy, you're mentioning that rum is beasting. Someone gave us the news here earlier. I tried reading it out. Let's see if I can find it here, though.
All right.
Wow, this was a while ago.
Yeah, I don't know where TRAW's going to end, but that's going to be fun to watch when it opens. Looks like
I can't find that comment. Sorry.
Looks like Phio is trying to turn around here. Needs to recapture VWAP next, but a couple of interesting candles the past 15 minutes.
All right. PHIO does look like it may be coming up off the bottom there. We'll see.
I'm just going to look around and see what else we covered this morning is trying to move. Looks like Arcat bounced. When I mentioned that 200 EMA bounce, that held up and pushed back through VWAP. It's making its way through the pre-market consolidation. So if it can get through 1250, we might be able to see this go into the 13s.
Okay.
Paladine, I'm not confident about right now. Bounced off the 65 EMA, having a hell of a time trying to get back above VWAP.
That's PDY, right? Let me bring that up.
That's been getting rejected. So if it cannot get through VWAP here with this current 5-minute candle, I think it could go lower.
Yeah, that really needs that 4 cross at VWAP.
Yeah.
I think you're right there, 13.
Looks like RAPT is trying to get going here. Just recaptured VWAP. See what it can do. It has some, every 10 or 5 or 10 cents, it has some pretty big levels to get through. So let's see if it can.
This one doesn't really seem to be popping and moving a whole lot at one time. 26 million shares in the float, $1 stock. Maybe it's not going to do that.
Here we go. Now
Jennifer saying, "Traw, I'm out. Have a Merry Christmas." You too, Jennifer. Merry Christmas. Right. Merry Christmas to anybody that just booked their Traw gains here today.
There we go. Wrapped. There we go. That's what we were looking for.
There's that pop. That was one of the bigger pops here and accompanied by volume. Okay, really good stuff there on RAPT. I didn't hit that one, but good stuff.
That was nice. Moving on to the next one.
We have a number of nice moves here.
Oh, wow. Look at Lunar with that rejection at the okay, so
Lunar was another one. That had a huge move here today.
Okay, so here's the thing with Lunar right now. It's it's losing it as we speak. It's got to get back and hold about 15. Otherwise, it's going to have not a great day. But 15, that was the height of the pre-market consolidation that we got all morning here. Then it popped on the news, found some resistance up around 1620, got as high as 1630, turned around, lost VWAP. Now we are losing that 15 handle. Might just fall within consolidation. I think this could end up going to 1430.
Real quick here, I'm noticing this ticker GALT here. This was $2 on Thursday. Looks like they had some data. Didn't go great here, and lower we go. This is a penny stock now. GALT, GALT. There's your RAPT. That is pulling back off that high impulse move it just made.
I don't know that this is done yet. I think we'll get a better answer if this is done, if it loses a VWAP, but the MACD is curling to the upside and we are headed towards the 199 breakout level. So this could end up moving past 2.
TRAW is open, folks. TRAW is open.
And it's going higher.
And are you sure? It actually went in both directions briefly here. I have no position on this, FYI.
Yeah, are you sure it's Phio and not TRAW that's supposed to be going today?
That was what I said. I said, okay, I see what you did there. You got me. Get gotted. Yep. Get gotted.
Yeah, so TRAW is having a good morning so far.
Yeah,
This is
17s now on TRAW here.
if you're holding, I mean, this is just the way I would be trading it. If I had still had some left, I'd be selling into the strength.
Same.
Maybe the trailing position.
Here's a pretty nasty, well, maybe not a whole lot. Looked like that was going to drop a lot more than that. Pulling back off that 1740 spot. Peter, this is actually a good question. Is a firm getting destroyed by the interest rate cutback for 2025? Okay, so first of all, I think what you mean there is the recent news here about a slower interest rate cut cycle. And you're asking if it's down on that. Sure seems like it has been down since that FOMC meeting here. But it's also worth noting that some of these buy now, pay laters, these have really been big movers recently, right? We moved a whole lot recently, so a little bit of a break's not a terrible thing here. But yes, that does seem to be moving in accordance with that decision.
I think, because I mentioned this last week, ever since we had that short report on Sezzle, I think that short report was going to be the catalyst that puts a lot of these buy now pay later stocks under the microscope. So companies like Affirm, PayPal, Bread Holdings, those I think are going to get a lot more scrutiny. And there could be some other things like, of course, like the interest rate as well. That could definitely affect these, of course. But I think we're going to be getting a lot more eyes under the hood of these buy now pay later stocks, and we might not like what we find under there. So that's just what I'm going to call it a guess at this point. That's what I'm guessing is happening here. But yes, also the interest rates as well. Absolutely.
Yeah, really good stuff here. And, let's keep in mind here on Sezzle, this stock had a Hindenburg short report. We often talk about the different short house that does it. Hindenburg did it here, so that's notable. This stock right now here at 272, this stock is 120 plus points higher than when Tim Melvin came on our show and said this was a decent buy. So even after the short report, even if you waited too long, the stock is still up 100 plus points from that. Just massive move. This thing was a home run for our group here. Let me go back to the main one. We'll take a look here at RAPT.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you there. It was
You're good. You're good, dude.
There was the 199 break that we were looking for, so that happened. I don't care what it does at this point. I was just looking for that break. Let's see if I can figure out what it might do next. But that break,
TRAW halted to the downside, by the way, 1510 on TRAW.
Okay. So here's something cool with RAPT. You can tell me if you see this in yours. This might gap fill to 270.
Is that on a daily?
Yeah, look at it daily. There you go.
Yep, right in here, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, so I have the body of the candle at 290, but that wick right down there at 270. You're right, 13. We're in that gap. Might get some more resistance there at 250, but Walmart is dumping. Oh, all that had to happen, Cyril, all that had to happen was that my calls expired. Remember, my calls expired on Friday, so here we go. Not surprised to see this move. You gotta love it sometimes. Sometimes you could just laugh at the market, right? The market is just going to come after you. We had the right thought there. We were too late, or we were too early, excuse me, on that trade on Walmart. Hopefully you caught it, though. Wisdom is here asking if somebody said 420. The answer is yes. Someone was calling out a 420 support level earlier today, and no surprise, Wisdom has showed up here.
Yeah, so we were talking about that with regard to Tesla. Let's see if we ended up getting that print yet, because we were talking about the two different directions it could go. Looks like it didn't quite get there yet, but seeing how it dropped down there in the after hours, actually went right to that area in the or at the close on Friday. So yeah, I'd say 420 is a pretty good looking support area, especially since that's where the price beeline to as we close the day out at the regular session on Friday. All right.
Tesla up 1.3% here today.
Looks like Paladin decided that it didn't want to be finished. It broke through VWAP after getting rejected multiple times at it. Still moving slowly, but this is much better price action. Now it needs to get up to and over 433. And it's got a little bit of consolidation from pre-market that has to get through first, and it's right there in it right now. So between here and 430, need to see the price move up.
Arcat continuing to move higher here. This now above 13. So Arcat up another 25% here. I had just, while 13 was talking, I had brought up the ONDS chart. That's trading higher here. Looks like some of these drone plays going higher here today.
Yep, that was a breakout into new highs. I don't know if this is all-time highs, but it's certainly new 52-week highs.
Oh, Amanda, good morning. Long time no see, Amanda.
Hey,
Happy Festivus to you. Absolutely. A Festivus for the rest of us. What do you have lined up for the feats of strength coming in the next 15 minutes?
AVXL, this thing is continuing to move up. This is really nice.
Here we go on AVXL. 1150 looks to be the next spot there. Cyril, I loaded up on ONDS last week thanks to Ryan. Hopefully it's working for you. Make sure you pay yourself if your time horizon is not the same as mine. I have a longer term projection here on ONDS, so I'm not playing these back and forth moves. Shout out to Izzy though, who is and has been crushing it recently. Yeah. So make sure you're trading your plan there.
RAPT, this is still trying to push up. We talked about the gap fill, but I don't think I gave a level. If it gets to 266, that's going to be the gap fill area for RAPT. All right.
TRAW is not stuck. It is halted. It is halted on all brokers. It should be opening here in the next few minutes. Actually, yeah, there it goes. TRAW is open. It literally opened as I was talking about it. That's amazing, dude. So TRAW like going higher here.
Oh, trying to bounce, yeah.
Remember, we just said on if you get any gains on these, be happy to sell them. I know that this has come in from that 17 and change.
Remember, the market participation is not going to be great today. There's already a lot of traders that are on vacation.
Yep.
So we are going to get some, we should get some good movement, but it's going to be very spready movement and on low volume. So be very, very careful with this.
This comment is relatable. I've missed you guys though. Been all over the Midwest at swim meets every other day for the last 10 days. I'm so happy not to smell chlorine today. Oh, I know how that goes, Amanda. We're happy to have you back.
Wisdom. How'd I get you into SMCI? I don't like that company.
No.
I don't like that company.
I was going to say, weren't you the one calling this like, I want to stay away? Yeah. I'm pretty sure you were very clear about that, 13.
Telling me I got you into this. Get out of here. I didn't get you into this. I just don't like this company. I don't like the shadiness of everything they're doing.
Feel ya.
Yeah. This is not a touch for me. Yeah, it looks like it wants to go lower too.
TRAW, did we just trade above 16 there? That's the price I saw on the scanner. Yep. Yeah, it looks like it went. And then
that was before the haul.
If you have this, yeah.
Oh, you're talking about just now. Oh,
yeah, just now it actually popped just above 16. I think 1602. 1611 was the high print there. You guys are asking about rum. Remember, that's had a pretty decent piece of news here. Rumble shares are trading higher after the company announced it entered into a definitive agreement with a strategic investment of $775 million. We also had news that the CEO was appearing on Portnoy's stream. That's what's going on here on Rum. All right, folks, it's Christmas week. It's Monday. It's 10 o'clock. Y'all folks know what that means. It's time to bring on our special guest, Matt Maley. Let's bring him on. Good morning, Matt. Happy Monday. I'm going to start off by saying Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday to you and your family, Matt. How are you here today?
Same to you, Ryan, and everybody, 13, everybody out there. Hope next 2 weeks should be a lot of fun with family and such. Interested to see what happens in the markets because the markets are obviously going to be quite thin, falling right in the middle of the weeks in a row. A lot of people take a lot of time off, especially on the pros. So it could be uneventful, But at the same time, the markets are very thin. So if you get some good news, that means there's fewer offers to take, and the market or an individual stock or a group or the overall market could move a lot higher than usual. And if there's negative news, just the opposite. There'll be fewer bids, and it could see a bigger decline than usual or than you would normally see to reaction to those news, to that kind of news. But right now, just looking at the market, the S&P down a little bit. I see that Bitcoin's down too, so it seems like the risk off, a little bit of risk off. But the Nasdaq's up, so pretty uneventful right now. The only thing I'm sure you guys have covered, but just don't forget, people, if you're doing something tomorrow in trading, remember the market closes at 1 o'clock, and and do remember though on New Year's Eve. January 31st, the market stays open the full day. It's not a half day like you do have on Christmas Eve, but that's next week's issue.
Yeah, that's actually a really good, we did talk about that earlier. That's actually a really good heads up there. So tomorrow we get a half day, but a week from tomorrow, which is December 31st, as you were alluding to there, full day on New Year's Eve. So Matt, you're kind of reading my mind there regarding the actual market here. What do you do anything on these days? I mean, even if it's in much smaller size and on some speculative stuff, do you do anything on this holiday week or this, last couple of weeks here before the rollover of the calendar?
I mean, it depends. You hate to give that answer, but it does depend. I mean, frequently, we don't do a lot. But, as I always say, you take what the market gives you. You can't make the market do something. But if you do see an opportunity, and like you said, making it a little bit smaller, nibbling here or there, it's tough to make a really big bet because it can go against you so quickly. As much. There's a lot. The reward can be really good, but the risk is also very high. So unless you hear some good news or you see a really big, a perfect setup for something, it's really hard to stick out your neck too far. So you want to keep things relatively small.
And that's kind of what we've been saying. Great to hear it from the pros as well. Really quickly before I get to my next question here, I have to share this with you because Matt, much like you, I was trying to play Walmart to the downside here because this thing has just gotten too extended too fast. And I was trying to do it with options. I was trying to define my risk ahead of the trade. So of course, all of my Walmart puts expired on Friday because I was trading the December contract. So of course, today is the day that we trade down by 3.5% here. I know you were talking about Walmart really kind of coming back in. I, of course, did not choose the right options on this. How are you thinking with Walmart here? Do you still like this for a pullback or not?
Yeah, I do, Ryan. I mean, of course, this has happened to every single one of us, right? From time to time. I mean, anybody who claims that hasn't happened to them is not telling you.
That's exactly right.
It happens for you just miss it by that. Or sometimes you do it. You keep rolling them out for a couple of weeks, and then finally you stop, and sure enough, that's the time when finally it gets you. But I mean, just looking at the chart this is kind of a confirmed breakdown. We see the MACD cross taking place, and it's even getting close there on the weekly chart, on the weekly MACD chart. So that's a concern. And it looks to me like it's probably headed for its 50-day moving average down at about 87.5. We'll see what happens they'll come out on Friday. I'm sorry, on Thursday, we'll hear something about Christmas sales and things like that. But and again, this is the stock's still got a nice upward trend, but nothing moves in a straight line. And today's move gives it a definitive breakdown. When I say breakdown, I don't want to say, oh my gosh, suddenly the stock's going to see it drop 20% or anything. But it just seems to me that it's got it's lost that momentum. It's broken that near-term upward trend. And so we need to be careful on this stock. I mean, again, I say you need to be careful. I think you want to play it to the downside. I think just because it's down a lot today doesn't mean it won't fall further.
Okay, good stuff there. Okay, Matt, the last question that I really had for you here today, we'll see if 13's got anything for you. How are you preparing for 2025? Have you already been preparing? Are you hashing through some of your plans now? What are you looking forward to here around the turn of the new year?
Well, I just think that what we had last week,
Okay.
I think, was a key turning point. I mean, it was already really set up by the bond market because the people were like going, oh, the Fed and Chairman Powell had a horrible press conference. He did. What are you talking about? He'd been setting this stuff up for weeks, and so had the rest of the Fed speak. They had been talking about lower, they've been talking about a hawkish cut for a couple of weeks now, and the bond market had been pricing that in. The stock market hadn't. So the fact that we actually got what they said they would give us shouldn't surprise, but it did. The stock market got too complacent, and so it's coming back down. And the fact of the matter is we have a stock market that's still very expensive, almost 22 times earnings. And now, I mean, one of the main reasons why that was, people were trying to justify that was because they don't fight the Fed. Interest rates are going down. Well, guess what? They're not going down anymore. Certainly long-term interest rates are going to hold up. Now the mantra or the narrative is higher for longer. Even if they come down a little bit next year, people are, instead of seeing 4 or 5 cuts next week, now they're down to 2. Most people are saying 1. And even some people now are saying that there might not be any. So when you have without those lower interest rates, that takes one of the key stools away from the bullish argument. So I am thinking that next year is going to be, especially in the early next year, is going to see early. I'm talking about the first half of next year. Certainly the first. We're going to be at much more risk of seeing a correction, something we haven't seen this year. Much more of a risk. So I'm trying to set up things.
Okay, real good stuff. That's something that we've been talking about a lot there. 13, you got anything for Matt?
Well, to piggyback on what he was saying about the risk going into early next year, we've been talking about how we have some events coming up that could exacerbate the downside potentially. So you have earnings coming up in the middle of January. Those are for Q4. You're going to get all the banks start reporting on the 15th and 16th. Then you have the Lunar New Year with the Asian countries. That's going to start at the middle of the next month as well. That ramps up into the end of that month. Then, of course, you have the Trump inauguration on the 20th. And then after that, you have the interest rate decision with the FOMC meeting on the 30th, I believe. It's either the 29th or the 30th. You'll have to correct me on that. But with these things coming up, and to your point about how there's increased risk coming up, do you see that this compounding of events leading into the or going through the first month, creating a potential downside in the market?
I definitely do, 13. I mean, one of the biggest things we have here is this earnings issue. I think, again, President Trump, I mean, there's a lot of things to think that he's going to be positive, deregulation, lower taxes. But we found out last week that he's not going to get these passed, right? It's going to take a little effort here. And it does sound like he's going to focus on the border first anyway. So it may be a while before that happens. But number 2 is that earnings. I mean, earnings estimates for 2025 have gone down over the last 3 or 4 months. But down. I mean, they haven't gone down a lot, but they've gone down. Okay, so people say, oh, earnings are going to be so great next year. And we've talked about this in the past. We had 2023, last year, the market rallied 23% on 0% earnings growth. This year, we had 10% earnings growth. Next year, we're expected to have 15 and 10, that's 25, right? So basically, what the market did in 2023, because of the AI issue and some liquidity injections, pulled forward what we actually got in we got this year and will get next year. We need more than 15% earnings growth. 15% earnings growth would be great if it were cheap. Trading at 15 or 16 times earnings, but it's trading at 22 times earnings. And since that earnings have already been priced in, the earnings that we're looking for have already been priced in, the fact that earnings growth aren't increasing is a big problem. And I don't want to say big problem. It's a problem that, again, we're not saying that, oh my gosh, we're going to see a crash of the AI bubble or something like that. But it does say that that the odds of a correction, and I believe a deep correction, 15 to 20%, are much higher than people realize right now. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that earnings, and that might not necessarily be the catalyst, because that may not be the catalyst, because they kind of roll out over several weeks. So it might be the inauguration. It might be these Lunar New Years and things like that. That people, when they wake up to these things all at once, You don't know when it's going to happen, but I think with them taking place kind of all at once, that's a good time frame to think that we will finally see the market roll over. There's a lot of great things to say about AI. AI is going to change the world, but the earnings increases have only come from the chip stocks. Okay, that's only come from the picks and shovels. You're not seeing it broaden out at all. And we've talked about this in the past. Microsoft's spending $10 billion a month, and they're not getting any return on that investment. At some point, investors are going to say, hey, it's going to come eventually, but I'm paying way too much for it now. And a lot of these stocks are going to have to come back down to reality. And if the big cap tech names, especially those Mag 7 names, start to come down, the rest of the market's going to come with it because they're so highly weighted in those indices.
Thank you very much.
Okay, really good stuff, Matt. That is awesome. Thank you very much once again. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to you and your family. We're not going to get you next week, so we'll see you next year. How does that sound?
Yeah, have a great holiday, but and everybody, and if you have any interest, we made one 700% trade, once 800% trade last week. If you have any interest in checking out our chat room, please give Rodrigo a call, and he can fill you in. But everybody, I hope they have a great, happy, and safe holiday season, and we'll see you in a couple
Absolutely.
weeks.
And if you need help for New Year's, be sure to trade along with Matt. We only bring him on once per week to this show, but you can trade along with him every day. Matt, thank you so much. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. We'll see you next year.
Sounds great. Thanks,
all right.
guys.
That is Matt Maley, folks. Awesome stuff here again. We're super thrilled that he joins us every single Monday to make sense of the market. But like he said, if you want to trade with him and with his expertise, be sure to check out the service that we offer here. Rodrigo can hook you up. I also put a link in the chat there to our Universe webinar. You can see what it is all about there. So really, really good stuff. We're appreciative to Matt. Awesome. By the way, while we were talking to Matt, TRAW went again, this time to new highs here into another halt. Sarah saying, thank you, Ryan 13 and crew. I'm done for the day. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays out there. TRAW continuing to get it done here. We're in another volatility halt to the upside here, 1789.
That thing is just providing all kinds of nice trades.
It sure has, man. This was the stock du jour here today. Really good stuff.
Did it hit? Okay, so it hit that target that I was looking for. That was 1780. So we just halted above that.
It did. One sec while you come up with the next awesome target.
Yes, that's what I'm doing right now. Maybe not up there. Just give me a second and I'll figure something out here. Because it might be one of those really weird. Okay, so 21 might be a potential next spot here for this one. But if we get through 21, then I'd be concerned that 25 is going to provide a lot of resistance. So I would just say those two next levels, 21 and 25, just to make it easy. Just to make it easy. Yeah, that's what I'll go with, 21 and 25. For TRAW. Drop your jaw, TRAW. Did I lose Ryan? Looks like I may have lost Ryan. All right. So in the meantime, I'll just look around and see what's doing some stuff. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of price action in some of these right now. Phio has just gone sideways most of the day today. AVXL, that hit a high of 1150, and that's now going sideways. Might start to roll over here in this one unless we get volume to increase and push us over 1150. There he is.
There I am. TRAW's open. Good timing.
And higher.
And higher it goes. Anyone shocked about that? Now I kind of want to trade this again because I sold my shares 4 points ago.
I would like to as well, but I'm not going to chase.
Yeah, I'm not either. If anything here, I'm going to wait for a pullback. Even off this last impulse move, this would be something else that we want to kind of watch here. This thing moved from its VWAP up several points into that 17-ish area. Then it pulled back and launched again. So just kind of eyeballing this, I would say maybe 17 to 1750 as a potential pullback zone. But again, I'd be very, very careful with that. Big move has already happened here. Sam is asking, too late for TRAW. Sam, this is a $64,000 question. And could this continue to go here today? Yeah. Could this pull back and go again? Yeah, it could. But the other thing is that this could really kind of halt to the downside. Let's see what happens on the next pullback. Let's mine that level there. I just gave that to you about 17 to 17 and a half. Let's watch that level if this thing pulls back. If it holds that level and doesn't break down, I would probably lean on the side that, yes, there might be some more here with that.
This was 550 this morning, and now we're getting close to a 4x.
Yeah, that's a good.
Remember, we've seen plenty of these before. We just saw NUKK last week. If we do not get into this one now because the risk is too high to try to jump in and take this for a ride, don't worry. There's going to be other movers other days. We said that with NUKK. Here we are saying with TRAW. Don't get yourself hurt in this market. Let's get into some of these trades before they do this. And if they start doing this, before we get into them, let them do their thing. This can come right back in real fast, and it could wipe out any hope of any chance of good gains for the day going into the holiday season. Do not hurt yourself here. Yeah,
and like just myself here, I'm watching this trade in an 18, 19 handle. I sold this thing in a 14 handle after buying it in a 12 handle. So I mean, I'm not upset about that. I'm 1 for 1 here today. Did a really good job. We'll wait for this to come back in and see if this gives us a setup.
So line out these things. We're going to go to 25 on TRAW.
Okay. Possibly.
I mean, I was like, I said 21 and 25, right?
Yeah, you did. Jesse, good morning. I didn't lose yesterday, buddy. My parlays yesterday were absolutely cooking, and I'm cooking again here this morning. No losses in my book, Jesse. Merry Christmas and happy holiday to you and your family this week. TRAW, now we started the pullback here again. We really want this to pull back some more, and we want it to hold. We'll see if we get that. That's on my checklist here. Oh, looks like it actually just went to 18 even.
And you could look at RAPT as an example of why you do not want to chase a move, like a breakout move.
Good call.
You can do stuff like that.
Good call, 13. I hadn't even looked at that.
Let's see here. I saw that we were getting asked about Tesla again, if it was going to go to a certain level.
Hang on. Before you do that, I got to shout out Jay Walker here. I'm at 1/4 position in at 13, out at 17 and 19. So this is the way we get questions about these. How do I know which one's going to go? How do I trade the ones that blah, blah, blah? This is how, right? Scale out of these positions. I'm already out. So I'm sitting here waiting for a pullback. Jay Walker's not all the way out. He's been scaling out. So he's actually able to take advantage of these moves here. Jay Walker, well done.
Yep.
1 up for how you traded this one here today. 13, I'm sorry for running you over, boss.
That's okay. I forgot what I was going to say.
Great. I am so glad that I screwed it up.
There wasn't anything important. Although we are getting some movement here from GTBP. This is starting to push up some more.
Jay Rice, 27.5 is the April high on TRAW. So we'll see if it ends up getting back there. That's 9 points away. That'd be another massive trade if it ends up getting up there. TRAW might hit 40 if momentum continues. Lion would be beside himself, Tuna, if that happened. Beside himself.
It's going to halt to the downside, though.
Here we go. So this was the look. Notice that. Okay, so this is interesting. And TRAW just killed people. Daniel, hopefully not our people, because what have we just been saying for the past 10 minutes on this? Be careful. Don't chase. Wait for a pullback. That's literally been the game plan. This halted to the downside here, 1684. So when this opens here, remember that area that we really wanted to hold was 17 to 1750. Well, we didn't. We went right through it like a hot knife through butter. We halted down here. When this thing opens, we'll be able to figure out if we're going to trade up or down or what's going to go on here at TRAW. We're right at a level. By the way, I've got the VWAP here, 1475 in my broker. I've got that VWAP at 1394 here in TradingView.
Izzy is 5 for 5 today. He's killing it.
That's amazing. I haven't even done 5 trades yet today. Izzy, you will get a 1-up as well. And then I also wanted to give this, let me make sure I have the right side. I'm pretty sure this is it. We're just going to roll the dice. Yes, we got the treasure chest opening for 13. We're going to celebrate together.
Do love my Zelda treasure chests.
Now check this out. Jay Walker, as we were just complimenting you, holy Moses, I'm glad I took gains. So you might be asking yourself, well, why would I scale out instead of just selling the whole thing? Jay Walker, why don't you answer that for them? You're doing great right now. Rigetti, RGTI?
Yes, I'm thinking this is trying to turn around and well, it's in the process of trying to recapture VWAP. If we get that, then I'd be looking at a 1175 breakout. See if we get that with Rigetti, because it's looking like it's trying to turn around and move off that 65 EMA.
Okay. That'd be sweet if we end up getting that there. We'll keep an eye on TRAW when it opens.
All right. Sorry, I'm just trying to set something up here.
Yep, all good.
And let's take a look here at some of these other ones. GTBP, that's gotten going now. This is looking good. Just don't try to chase this one as well, because we just, for the exact reason we just said. If this starts to rip, don't jump into it. Just wait for it to come back in and set up before we get the next movement.
Real quickly here, Amanda. Anyone want to quit early and go play video games now? Actually,
that's what I'm doing after this.
Actually, yes, I do. So I haven't played Tarkov in some time, but recently over the weekend I jumped in with my group mates. We had a great time. We're not even really doing anything serious. We're just kind of shooting the shit, having a good time. I thought to myself, man, this is real fun. We're looking to play over Christmas. I'm with you, Amanda. I'm kind of ready right now, but got to get through today first. Got to do it.
Hey, who was that?
RELI's
Jay
trying
Harris.
to go. Sorry for interrupting. RELI finally through the VWAP. Let's see if it pushes and goes right here for your next target here on RELI. Yeah. Sorry, 13.
No, it was a great mention. Dude, this one did exactly what we were looking for too. Okay, so it had that breakdown beneath the VWAP, and now it's trying to recapture. That's great. MACD looks good too here. So yes, we get through this. Look for a breakout around 435, I guess. 435 to 450 would be the breakout area.
Here it goes. There's 4. We popped right up to 4. Watch the volume's expanding here. RELI. Watch this one.
And we are also getting a mention on Tesla. This one jumped all the way, or not jumped, but this one fell all the way down to just under 416. So we hit that 420 level. Now it's trying to turn around. Above 420 now, having a hard time getting above 425, it looks like. That's going to be the big level to watch for here with Tesla. We cannot get back above 425. Could end up going lower here.
Okay, good stuff there. RELI still flirting with that 4. You know what? I'm going to queue this up in my broker here. We're going to see if we can trade RELI through that 4 spot. I do see some size there at 4 on RELI.
Rigetti looking pretty good as well. I'd say somewhere around 1180. There's the resistance area that they need to get over. But if we can chew through 1180 all the way up through, call it 1275.
I'm also seeing some calls getting bought on a lot of these quantum names, Rigetti included, by the way. They actually filter for above.
Might be a theme next year. Think it will be. A lot of speculation into what the themes could be next year. We got space, drones, quantum. Those are kind of the leaders at the moment.
So Rigetti went right to that VWAP and stopped here. This is very simple to RELI. RELI went to that VWAP and kind of held there. We'll see if that lights up again. Arcat, for all of you that are trading Arcat, this on the backside of the move after that initial push there. GameStop, is that going here today? GameStop right about $30, not really going.
TRAW.
Okay, TRAW. Yep. Is that
TRAW was in 1944? Now and then it's and now it's coming back in, getting some support around the pre-market. I'm sorry, that must be after hours. The after hours high.
This is that $17 level that we talked about. It's trying here. I'd be careful with this though. I would say if you're going to trade this level, If you're going to trade this area here, have a plan in case it doesn't work. So here we go. It looks like we're trying to lose that here. This thing's spread a good 20, 25 cents on TRAW. Lower we go. Looks like we had 15 prints right there. RELI might go to 5. Smoke Tuna, you are awesome. You are awesome, Smoke Tuna. What would we do without you?
And Rigetti looks like this is really trying to get going as well. It's got some good technical indicators saying that it's trying to curl and push up here, but I think we're still looking at that. Excuse me, 70, 11, excuse me, hiccups. Got 11. TRAW open heading lower towards VWAP.
Yeah, TRAW here. So we lost that 17 area. Looks like we're trying to hold here at 16. I have no position on this. I'm not trading this. I would just say if you are, be careful. Make sure you have a plan in case it goes against you. We are on the backside of this move volume wise. So although we're currently trying to hold a spot and perhaps bounce from here, the volume is not telling you that that move is going on yet. We still have VWAP down here at $14. I have VWAP at $15 in my broker. So we're getting some mixed readings there. Just careful on this one. This could be a potential bounce spot, but no guarantees.
Wisdom, I can't, because if you're trying to get there in a certain period of time, we won't get there in my tractor.
You know what? Is that like the tractor story for all you Seinfeld fans out there? Is 13 telling his own version of the tractor story?
No,
look out.
What Wisdom say? I'm just going with it.
No, I know. I'm just joking. I'm trying to tie it all together with a Christmas ribbon.
Don't try to make sense of it. Just don't.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough here. TRAW still trying to hold that 16 area. DRTC getting mentioned by a number of folks here in the chat. DRTC ripping to the highest volume, told the story on that one. Wow.
DRCT. Okay.
DRCT. Sorry if I miscalled that. RELI popping back onto the scanner. Here we go, folks.
Direct Digital Holdings suspended now.
That's halted to the upside, right? DRTC halted to the upside there.
That is correct.
Okay, here we go on RELI. Starting to move above that 4 level here. We really want this to take off from here. Next spot I have on RELI, 456. That's going to be the high here of the morning, right in here, 452. Here we go. Here we go on RELI. Bang, 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 dude.
It's going to halt. It's going to halt. I'm
going to stay in it. I'm still in this. I'm going to stay in it. I'm not going to sell here into this. We're going to stay in this halt. If it opens higher out of this halt, I'm going to cash the whole thing out.
Big level was 430. I think we may have identified that earlier this morning about how it was, not able to get above and hold that. This was the breakout. Might go to 5. Yeah, it could break over the pre-market high and hit 5.
Tuna mentioned this before this action really started to take off. This was consolidating in here, and Tuna looked at everybody and said, RELI might go to 5, kind of making a joke. And then bang, this is what happened. 469. Nice. It is halted right there. Let's see what happens when this halt opens. I'm still in my position here. We're up nicely. My entry was 395. So I'm up nicely on that position here. I will sell into the upside move. I will sell into the upside move when this unhalts.
Stock said, haha, good joke. Rigetti, this is going now. Trying to
what
get
is going?
12.
Which one?
Rigetti.
Ooh, Rigetti. We talked about that one. RGTI. Yep. Boy, we got all types of stuff going on this morning. Yep. I love when we have good mornings on this.
Yep. Really trying to get into the over 1180. That's the big level here, it looks like. And let's see. Booner asking about, what do we think about WISA? Let's take a look at WISA Technologies. It looks like I had a nice morning, and then the market opened. Here we go with Rigetti. This is starting to get going here. Be afraid to ease out into the run.
12 prints here on Rigetti. So the regular session high is 1228, right? That's what I have here. Pre-market high 1275 with some resistance area there at about 1250.
So it's going to probably get up somewhere a little bit over the 12 panel because there's like, you got that pre-market consolidation between where we are and 1275. So going to need some more volume to get through all that. But if we do get the volume, it could push up real quick and then come back in real quick as well.
Okay.
So that's why I'm, and I think Lion Atlas was mentioning it as well, with how illiquid and spread the market is and how little participation there is. These rallies that we're seeing, they're worth selling into. So let's, I don't know that necessarily holding on to gains, expecting more follow through from these upside movements is necessarily the best idea today. There's not a lot of participation in the market. We're not going to, get continuation of those moves we've been seeing in the past, weeks, because there's just not enough people here trading with us. So don't be afraid to take your gains a little bit earlier than normal.
I think that's been the smart move all day.
So RELI, it's looking for a break.
So TRAW did kind of hold 15. We'll see if it's, I no position on that. I'm still waiting for RELI to open here. That's RELI, by the way. PHIO, this did come up off that $2 bottom. Glenn, given a RELI price target here, 666. Watch out, any of you superstitious people.
Well, it is a beast. That's for sure.
LAES holding its VWAP so far.
TRAW open and moving slowly.
DRTC just opened. TRAW's been open. DRTC open, went higher, might halt again. 156 DRTC.
What? I'm sorry. Was TRAW open?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I thought it wasn't open yet. We have a neutral candle from the past 5 minutes that might be an indication of a reversal. See what it does. I'm not going to trade TRAW right now.
Okay. Smoke Tuna saying this might give a bounce at 415. Okay.
Phio is coming up to a consolidation area between 275 and 3. We see a volume expansion in that area. We could push through that and then try to shoot for some of the higher prints we made in the pre-market and after hours in this.
TRAW is open. Or excuse me, RELI is open. Sold partial of my position there to book gains.
Nice.
Now we're going to see if this goes higher here. There's the $5 call that Smoke Tuna gave. So we got that. Glenn's got his 666 call. We'll see here. 511 is the high print there. If this moves down, I'm just going to close the trailer of this. I have 2/3 of my position booked already, so we're good there. I want to see if this pushes above 5 again and goes towards Glenn's target.
Yeah, I think
I have. Oh no! Oh no!
What happened?
I clicked the wrong thing.
If RELI does get up to the 666, then I would think that the next target, well, at least the one that I have, would be 880. So that'd be what if we get to 666, that'd be what I'd be looking at next is 880.
Okay, looks like this is pulling now. I'm going to close the rest of that here, but that is 2 winners, 2 for 2 here today. RELI and TRAW. So bang, bang. Bang, bang. Good stuff there.
Yep.
On the day trading here today. We see we were selective about what we took today and it still ended up working out.
And now I'm just looking to see if Phio is going to get going here.
Here we go on RELI. Might be retaking 5 here.
If we do get, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I'm going to bring up Phio here because you were about to talk about it, I think.
Yeah, it's currently trying to get back above its 65 EMA. It looks like it's really trying for 3. Once it gets there, I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen. Just have to watch the volume. But 3 is the next level I'm looking for in Phio.
Hey, I like this here. Crimp Biscuit. I know, Crimp Biscuit, you changed your name to Krizip Biscuit recently, but I'm still going to call you Crimp Biscuit because it's way easier. Did Phio just throw up a periscope to VWAP? So this formation here, I kind of like that. I kind of like periscope to VWAP. It tried, didn't quite get there. It tried though. I might reuse that, Crimp Biscuit, honestly. It is moving here. We might have something here.
Yeah. It's just in that consolidation right now. Well, it was. At 275 to $3, I think. That's the consolidation we need to get through. RELI. Not sure what we're getting here right now, but the candle is neutral, so we could have a continuation or we could have a reversal. Let's see what happens in the next minute.
And just to remind you, I am all out of this, so no active trade for me in this. Gains are booked. $5 was the smoke tuna call that we got and lost. $6.66 was the Glen call, which we have not yet seen, but it's not over yet on RELI.
I was getting asked about the about Tesla. Jay Harris. So if we do go higher, there's a consolidation area from pre-market between like 428 and call it 435. If in that area, I would expect there to be some resistance. So if we do trade up there, I think that we might run into some problems around that area and within that area, possibly around 431, 432 at the most. But if we can chew through that, then the next upside level I have would be in the 440. So just some levels to watch for. Consolidation is going to be the next area of question to get through.
LAES getting mentioned here by WIS. This is curling off of that VWAP as well. Watch for 420 here. Actually, the first breakout spot here would be 411. See if we get that on LAES. Look around. Let's see what the rest of the Twitter streets are doing today.
Lunar had a nice bounce off of 1385. Well, actually, it's more like 1382, but had a nice bounce at that level.
Okay. Checking on Archer here real quick.
I think they had news.
Archer?
I think they did.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was from today. It may have been over the weekend, but talking about how I think it was Saudi Arabia being the earliest recipients of their aircraft. Like they are going to be flying. They are going to be flying in I think it's either Saudi Arabia or United Arab Emirates. I forget which one, but they're going to be flying in 2025 out there.
I don't see that news here from today, but that's still really good for the stock. DRCT is open. That was a recent halter here, folks. That just opened. Looks like that opened and went lower and is halted again to the downside now on DRTC. Boy, that happened fast. It's halting on small moves due to the low close on Friday. So that's that percentage calculation that's causing it. Okay, I got you there. MSTR, MicroStrategy. How are we doing here today? It's leaking a little bit.
All right. LAES trying to push up. 430 is the intraday high. RELI, this looks like it's trying to build a bit of a bull flag here. If we can continue to hold, if we can hold 430, this might push back up into 5 and go higher, maybe to the 666 level we were talking about.
Hey, Rigetti, this is coming back up. Let me bring up RELI.
TRAW curling as well. TRAW needs to get above 1745. If it cannot, I think this loses VWAP and goes lower. So here we go. We're trying for 1745 right now.
Put TRAW on screen here real quick. Here you go. Boy, this has been I'm glad we had a couple of really good things to trade here today. That makes me happy.
Rigetti's going up. are ACHR big put buying. Stay away from that for the time being. Just looking around here. Phio came back in. Let's see if it gets support here.
RAPT, that did move above its VWAP here, so that's trying to go back up. We'll see if that can break back above 2.
Seeing that some of these are having a hard time getting into those, breakout highs area. LAES, one of them, it looks like it's struggling. It still could go above 430, but it looks like it's having a hard time. Just looking around and see if we're getting the same thing out of some of these other ones.
Maverick here with the expert troll job on the Walmart question. We'll answer it nonetheless. Maverick here trolling me saying, Ryan, how do you like Walmart today? Well, I don't really care for it, to be honest with you, because I've been trying to trade this move for the past few weeks here. I knew that the stock was too extended here. I even had other really seasoned traders like Matt Maley come on here and confirm that it's extended. So we tried to take that trade, and what do you know? Those options expired on Friday. So of course today is the day it trades down 3.5%, Maverick. Why not? All jokes aside here, Walmart has been on a huge move recently. This is just a little bit of a pullback. Sure looks like the next spot here is 87.5, which is the 50-day moving average. So there you go.
So RELI going to have to turn around here soon if it's going to go higher. TRAW, that did not get above the area I was saying. So if it looks like it could end up losing VWAP here if it starts trading lower. Watch, be careful with TRAW. I don't like the formation that it's got going on here at the 5-minute.
Okay.
Just looking for some that are setting up. Looks like Lunar is kind of setting up to push to the VWAP.
I'm sorry, Amanda. I love turning that kind of joke into a Festivus-related joke. That's top tier points right there. That's deserving of another video game sound effect here. Obviously, well done. I do love Christmas week. It's so hard to be in a bad mood. It's so hard.
Yeah,
we don't need to even waste time with that.
Right down the VWAP. Yeah, I'm not sure we're going to want to be in TRAW anymore. This, if we lose VWAP, this is probably going to end up going lower into the 11s.
Oh, hustle and bustle! You're out of here. See everyone tomorrow morning. So just a reminder here. We do have 15 minutes left in our show, but because hustle and bustle is getting ready here, I want to remind everybody we are having a show. Market is a half day tomorrow. We are having a full length show tomorrow, and remember tomorrow, bring your Christmas sweaters. I will be bringing a Christmas sweater and wearing that on the stream to celebrate Christmas Eve tomorrow. I encourage all of you to do that. If you think that you have the best Christmas sweater, this is what you can do. You can take a picture of yourself wearing it. You can tweet it at me, and I would be happy to share it on stream. If we get a whole lot of interest in that, we can even set up a poll and vote. But that's happening tomorrow, Christmas Eve. We have a stream. We'll see you here bright and early. Christmas sweaters encouraged.
Extra points if you wear stockings.
13 is just out here absolutely killing it with the dad jokes. I mean, he's slaying it like a dragon.
Oh, what game is that?
13, I haven't even heard that before. It's just, I can't help it. It makes me laugh, dude.
So the ones that are looking interesting right now are RELI.
Wait. Smoke Tuna saying, RELI as a gift for my birthday. Smoke Tuna, are you casually trying to drop that it's your birthday today? Is this what you're doing? You are casually trying to drop that, and we couldn't wish you a happy birthday otherwise? Smoke Tuna, say it ain't so. If it is your birthday, happy effing birthday, dude.
Happy birthday. And you know what? I'm sure that that makes it easier for everybody in your family buying gifts.
I was going to say, double up there. By the way, all of the stocks, with the exception of HYZN, all of the stocks trading to the upside are above their average volume here today.
RAPT not having a good time trying to recapture its VWAP. Careful on that one. Looks like Rigetti is really trying to get above that 12 handle and break out. A lot of sellers at 12 as well. TRAW needs VWAP support, or else it's going lower. To me, it looks like this is going lower. It looks like we have an intraday head and shoulders with TRAW.
RELI curling here right at 450.
Yeah, really looks like it's trying to get going back into the 5 handle.
Cyril mentioning that he is selling Rigetti, and that makes me think of rigatoni, and now I'm hungry, so well done. Smoked tuna, it apparently his birthday is on Festivus, and Amanda cannot believe that we are just learning that his birthday is on Festivus. Frankly, I can't believe this either. Happy birthday.
We're getting some wild action in RELI now. VWAP support, not sure we're going to hold, but it's certainly trying to get back up into the 5 handle. Let's see what else here. Maybe GTBP could try and get going as well. It's holding VWAP, but we need to see some volume expansion here.
This looking like this is trying to curl.
Mm-hmm.
OKLO, nuclear stock. Remember, we talked about this having some more volatility ahead here. This down today, down 8.5%.
Rigetti also looks not bad either. Like it's trying to push up into that 12 that I was just mentioning.
DRTC, the Haltfest stock now.
Curious to see if Phio gets going after getting VWAP support.
Okay.
Still has some EMAs in the way, but if it can get past 275, you might see it break out.
All right. UMAC, someone mentioned this earlier. This got a pop earlier, and look at that. So this sold off out of the open, went to highs, now new highs. We're seeing more volume flow in here as well on UMAC. Russ is saying that smoked tuna deserves a marble rye, but really only if they can get that rye hooked to a fish hook. Am I right? A smoked tuna fish, Seinfeld, right? Got to make sure we get the hook baited correctly with the marble rye.
Seeing a lot of sideways action in some of these, just waiting for them to kind of do something. As long as RELI can hold VWAP, that might be able to turn around here and push up into the 5 area. TRAW still holding VWAP. RAPT could not get back above VWAP, was rejected. RAPT looks like it might go lower if it cannot get above VWAP on the next attempt, or it might not even try it again. Be careful with RAPT.
RELY, this came back in.
Yeah, and it is kind of bouncing, so that's why I'm saying that it's a little curious here.
I've got the VWAP at 402 in my prop account, and I've got the VWAP at 387 in TradingView.
I like your 402 better. Mine's at 408.
Yeah, me too. See, that's why I like having multiple VWAPs, because then I can just choose which one I like more. Give me more choice. I'll take that all day.
LAES, this one could push over the 430 high and go higher. It was a great mention.
LAES is a pretty good pop, yeah.
That was a great mention. Who was saying it was getting some activity there because it was on its way up when he said that, I believe. Well, you have 5 stocks over 100%. Nice. How do we feel about MYSZ?
Oh, that was my size from last week. I haven't taken a look at it yet today. Ooh,
15% today.
Oh, so it's just recently. So this is interesting. So this is moving on very, very low volume. Now, compared to what we did on Friday with my size, there was heavy volume. This looks a little bit different here.
Well, here's an interesting thing about MYSZ. They are coming up to the after hours high on Friday. And if we push through that, then we could see this go into the 6 handle. And that high was 520, 521, something like that. So getting pretty close there. But as you pointed out, very, very spready, very thin. I mean, this whole breakout move above the intraday high that it just did, that's only on 150,000 shares. So very, very low volume, very spready. Just be sure you take your gains on some of these upside moves, because a stock like this, when the sellers start coming in, they're going to pull this thing way down very fast. All right. So TRAW is still holding VWAP, but still don't like it.
Rum trying to go higher here. Whoever mentioned earlier today, right out of the open, when Rum was in a 10 handle, that you were pounding the table on this, CEO, Portnoy, all that. This worked out. This is 3 points higher now. This is 3 point higher now. You're awesome, Benny.
And if it can get above 1360, I like 1550 after that. Okay.
RAPT might be wrapping up itself, not Christmas gifts, right? But all right, here we go. We'll see.
Is it going extinct like raptors?
Ah, well done.
There was a dinosaur joke in there somewhere. I knew
there was. Also, Ford makes a Raptor. They make a truck, and that is not extinct. That is really popular. LAES getting mentioned here by Smoke Tuna. We are up near the highs. Looks like we got kind of a janky double top going here right around 430 on LAES.
Well, like a Ford Raptor, the RAPT doesn't look like it's getting started here.
Ooh, there's a Ford joke in there. Look at that. Look at that.
Sorry, all the Ford guys. I had to. LAES.
Yeah, I'll just say this. Over the weekend, my Ford started in the cold weather without issue.
Okay.
Just throw that out there. I didn't have it. Knock on wood. Now that I've said that, I'm screwed. I'm gonna go out there and try to start it. The battery is gonna be dead.
LAES still trying to push up to 430. Lots of room there, and lots of shares at 430 there trying to get sold. So we see some volume expansion. It's going to have to chew through that, and then we could see some fireworks if it gets through 430. Otherwise, big resistance area. Wow, nice mention on my size. That had a pop up to 510, and then came back in. We're still looking for a breakout of 520. Could do this on the spread, on how spready this is, but on the low as well as low volume. But remember, it could also come back in real quick on this spready low volume.
Cyril, another good mention here. Bitcoin actually did take another leg lower since the market opened here. We are, I'm at 93,400 on the futures chart, but the spot price probably means that's below 93K. Benny, you also had a Ford. You didn't appreciate that joke much, huh? I'm with you there. I got you, Benny. I got your back, brother. RELI holding in at the VWAP here. ONDS curling to the intraday highs. My size pulled off that spot. DRTC, that was the recent halter that we took a look at. That is actually halted to the upside 171. You know what? I don't think I've given out any register rings on this. I didn't trade this one. No trades for me on DRTC, but this was a penny stock that's up 200% now. Grats to any of you folks that were on this one here today. We had other stuff to do and I missed this one, but this worked. So grats to you if you guys hit it.
Arcat and Paladine, their MACDs suggest it could be curling. Paladine might actually get going here if it can recapture VWAP, which I currently have at 391. So you can keep those on your radar if you like. As a matter of fact, does Paladine have a trend line here? Kind of. I mean, we need to get back above VWAP in order to break the trend line. But and look, you said that the RCT was halted, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, we called that as it happened live.
Well done.
Arcat here at the lows, folks. GTBP flagging here lower. Stuff's really drying up. How's the market here? We're about to end here. Let's check in on the market real quick. It's your SPY. So SPY's lower here by about 0.25%.
Let's see. Yeah, let's take a look at SPY and see what we could draw from this price action here. So got under the previous all-time high of 591.93 in the pre-market, and since then it has not been able to recapture it. Next support down would be the two other previous all-time highs would be 586.12 and 585.27. That range in there has been support frequently. So we'll see if the price does get down there, see if we get support from that as well. Beneath that, I have the 582.30 level that we talked about.
Okay. I'm going to do a quick look here at the broader market. I had my things not saved. Let's go ahead and holdings of SPY. Boom. And we're going to go ahead, delete this. We're going to do holdings of Dow, and then we're going to delete this, and we're going to do holdings of Qs. Okay, so here's your market heat map. Looks like Broadcom and AMD leading the way higher. Eli Lilly, someone was trading this earlier. So it looks like the breadth today is actually pretty bad. A couple of pockets of green that are keeping our market near flat here. But generally speaking, I think there's probably some weakness here today. Okay.
Is Tesla going to break 430? It could, but I think the bigger level I would keep my eye on is if it can get up to and above 440.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Here's the 440 line on my chart. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I would be looking at with, because it could potentially get up to 430 pretty soon here, but 440 I think is going to be the bigger one to watch for.
Okay. 13, we are out of time here for today. Really good stuff. Good start to the Christmas week with some of the small movers that we've got here. Yeah, any closing words for the group?
Well, folks, if you're not going to be here tomorrow with us, I hope you have a wonderful holiday, Merry Christmas, and enjoy the festivities, and we'll see you after the holiday. If you're going to be with us tomorrow, we'll find some more really thin movers that much like the ones we traded today, and we'll try and trade them, and we'll try and make some money before the big red man comes into town. See you then.
The big red man comes in. Okay, really good stuff, 13. We'll see you later for the last happy hour of the year.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we got one next week.
Yeah.
We'll see you later for happy hour 13. See you tomorrow. Take care. All right, folks, that's going to do it for 13, and that's going to do it for us here. Again, I just want to send a personal thank you to all of you for supporting us and joining us here on a regular basis. I know that this is a holiday week, so thanks for showing up on a holiday week. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, perhaps for this group, maybe most importantly, happy Festivus out there. We will be back here again tomorrow. Remember, we're still going to trade any day that this market is open. Holiday sweaters are encouraged tomorrow. We will see you then. Take care.